Hello and welcome to episode 181 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and joining me this fine evening, as always, the Cornhusker himself, Mr. Barry Burkum.
Hello, Washington!
Howdy ho. And joining us tonight as well. Oh, I can't wait. I was just saying how many jokes we're gonna have. We have the Nintendo Guru, aka Bobby.
Bobby. Good Lord, here we go. You know what? Every time I listen to the podcast, I hear you doing this over and over, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to be around this guy when he's doing this all the time.
Bobby.
Dang it, Bobby. Yeah, we're just gonna like edit you out pretty much, and it'll just be nonstop Bobby jokes.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of this already. I can tell you guys already.
So how you doing, Bobby? How are you doing today?
I am well. I am very well. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you bringing me on. It's been a while.
Why don't you tell a little bit about yourself?
Well, okay. So I'm the self-proclaimed Nintendo Guru. And I do a lot of YouTube stuff. I do a lot of podcast stuff. And yeah, so I've been doing it for 3 years now, give or take, and I love it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of good stuff. Yeah, man.
And you have the Bizarro podcast from ours, which is the Nintendo Talk podcast.
No, on the Talk, Nintendo Talk. Yes.
Oh, you was it? No, I'm the Talk Nintendo podcast.
Talk Nintendo. Yeah. I do Nintendo Talk Live. And it was funny because when you came on the show, I was like, "Did you steal my name, or did I?" And then it turned out like
you stole ours.
Yeah, I totally stole yours.
That was conveniently edited from the live video somehow. Yeah, that's the true facts.
Yeah, what's the expression? When you the ultimate form of
imitation.
Imitation is the ultimate form of flattery, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Anyway, all that.
There was no flattery intended by what I did. I assure you,
there wasn't. It was just
swiped. Yeah,
not with Perry involved.
Exactly. It's like whatever.
For goodness sake, I hope not. Anyway, so we have quite the show, and I will warn listeners that I may have to leave for a family emergency at any time. So I might just say I'm leaving, and it's not because I hate Bobby.
That's not true. We've already been through that, people.
Well,
we've discussed this, and Casey has let me in the loop. And so this is all lies from Perry. Perry's trying to come off as the nice guy that the internet thinks he is.
Like you.
But
I do want to say, if you do have to go, Perry, you got to be like, "Dang it, Bobby," and then and then that'll be it. You could just leave.
Oh my God.
And then that'll be that.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
All right. Well, like you said, we got a pretty jam-packed episode here. Of course, we're going to be doing what we've been playing, and then we're going to start getting that E3 hype train. It's going to start leaving the station because originally we were just going to look at some of our favorite E3s, and then we went down the whole list of pretty much every E3 since 1995. So that'll be a nice, healthy dosage of E3 goodness. But, Bobby, why don't you kick us off with what you've been playing?
Oh, I haven't played anything, Casey. I'm sorry.
That's my job, dang it.
No, I've been playing. I really seriously jumped into Fortnite big time this week.
Fortnite.
With Season 9 coming, oh my God, they totally revamped it and got me fired up to play this thing again. Like, I thought I was out. Last season was kind of weak, and I wasn't really into it that much. But man, the changes they made to this thing are just pretty darn phenomenal. So
okay, talk about them.
Oh, I like the fact that there's like a monorail type system, like a la Disney, kind of through. Like they have a new mall that they have, so you can kind of like go around the mall. Then there's also one that kind of goes around through different areas, like in terms of like you can go around different towns per se. Then they redid Tilted. Now it's called Neo Tilted. It's all a futuristic city, and it's just craziness. The volcano, the volcano's kind of like destroyed, and there's like this science lab within the volcano. Man, it's so much coolness. Then they got these platforms that are up in the air, and you can kind of like shoot up the platforms and get up top, because there's basically the monorails and everything are these like wind tunnels. So you can jump in and out of them at any time. It's not like it's almost like a cylinder, but it's not, because you can get in and out of it. But it's really cool how it works. So the same thing are these platforms. You can kind of like skyrocket to the platform, to the top of the platform, and then get up there. But it's been so much fun. And the weapons are they got some pretty decent weapons. They brought back the like the Tommy gun type thing. And it's just some pretty cool stuff. I've been enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot.
It's quite the game that really people play a lot of that game. I play a lot of that game. I haven't played it for a long time, but I'd really like to hop in.
I was gonna say you were into it too for quite a while.
I was into it. I mean, it was like me and Jules played like 3 hours every day.
No, here comes the name drops.
But then
the Jules talk.
I know. Here. Listen.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'm with you there, Perry. Don't worry about it. I'm with you.
Yeah. But I haven't played it for a long time, and so I just I want to. It's just one of those things. There's so many new games. It's hard to go back to other games.
It's hard,
but
man.
Fortnite's so great. I mean, just the way that it's the best like multiplayer game on the Switch. Like just for getting together, talking, just for how it works and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
It's like, despite like it being a big, huge like map, and like the games go pretty quick, even when you're lasting pretty long too. Pretty deep into it. Like it's a pretty brisk experience, and like of course obviously one match usually turns into like at least 10, but like being able to jump in real quick when you don't have a lot of time, like I feel like that's what's really great about it too.
Right.
I agree. Like there's so many times that I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just play a match or two, and then next thing I know, like an hour's gone by and I've already like zipped through a bunch. And the crazy thing is, like, you could play one set of games and just be like a god, and then come back 3 hours later and you can't even last 2 minutes.
Yeah, just terrible.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I love it. And I've actually been jumping into some like more competition type stuff, because I think that's really cool how they do that. Like, where you can just fire up and jump into kind of get involved in the cups and all that stuff. It's really unique.
Is that native to the Fortnite?
Yeah, they have these open cups. Like
I don't know what this is actually.
So basically, all the pro players, like Fortnite will be like, okay, we have a competition, and you have all these qualifiers, and you have to score so many points, and you get the points by either just lasting in the matches or kills, such like that, or victory royales, or wherever you get. So you accumulate points, and then like you have a certain amount of time, like maybe it's 24 hours to play as much as you can, whether it be squad based or duo based or solos, and then they just, if you accumulate so many points, you advance. I've never done that because I'm not that good, but you'll advance on, and then they actually have money on the line too, so you can actually win money.
That's what leads me to kind of actually, I think the reason why I stopped playing was like I kind of got tired of losing every single time and just getting the crap beaten out of me like every single game. I think seriously it was kind of like, man, like I think that it was really easy because of all the Switch owners that started playing.
All the
but then
noobs.
man, like they all got really good and I didn't. And so
well, I will say this. If you play now, they've done some changes. First off, what got hard and got difficult was when they implemented crossplay. When you're playing against PS4, Xbox One, and computers, PCs, they already came out and said that, like, those frame rates, because the Switch was running 30 and the other ones were running 60, it was giving them an advantage over Switch users.
And the draw distance, too, right?
Yes, because they could basically sniper you from halfway across the map, and you couldn't do anything. So the changes they've implemented is there's still crossplay, but now Switch cross plays with mobile users. So you essentially will play, like if you fired up by yourself, you did a solo, you're going to play against people that are your level and against mobile players. Now, let's say hypothetically, I jump on my Xbox, right? And me and you duo together. You are then going to be pushed into matches against PS4, PC, Xbox.
Yeah, it opens it up.
It opens it up. So I think and I'm not acting like I'm great. I'm pretty crappy. I can win some victory royales. I won one tonight by myself. But the thing of it is what I realized pretty quickly was I was playing with some really good people, and because I was getting thrown into matches with them, I got better. And so when I go back to where I am, I'm actually a little bit better than I should be. So it's been a benefit for me. I can't complain at all about it.
Totally.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is fun. It's a great game. Yeah, have you been playing anything else? Anything else of Nintendo Switch?
Yeah,
variety?
Boxboy Boxgirl. I've been playing that. I was a fan of those games on the 3DS. So when it came to the Switch, I was like, this is a definite no-brainer. I'm in. And it's just a lot more of Boxboy and Boxgirl this time. But it's really cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's more the same essentially, though, right?
Well, doesn't it have an emphasis on co-op, or is that...
I don't know. I haven't messed with co-op. I mean, because I play by myself, so I don't know.
Okay, good.
Like
so by itself, it's good.
Yeah, so like as you play, like I've played through 3 worlds now, and it's just been Boxboy. There's never been Boxgirl with it.
It's funny, because I don't know anything about it. Mm-hmm. Like, I just know Boxboy, right? I love Boxboy from 3DS, but like when I envisioned it, I envisioned like that it was more, and this is just my ignorance, but like this was more like you can play it solo, but then you'd switch between the two of them. You know what I mean?
No, it's not like that at all.
It's a completely different mode.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There might be moments and levels, but it's not.
But for now, it's not. It's just
it's not.
Good old Boxboy. Good. Yeah. Good. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, that's good to hear then.
Well, you still never played, the second or third one, Perry?
No, I played the first, and I never got the third one because that was
Japanese exclusive, wasn't it? They didn't record it.
No, it came over.
I thought.
Yep.
Did it?
Actually,
the Amiibo
stayed
exclusive.
Yeah, the Amiibo.
Oh, you mean the one that I have on my shelf up there that's worth like $500 right now.
Exactly, and that's the one. That's why I didn't get the third one, because I was like, I'm going to buy it when the trilogy comes over, or when it comes on the Switch. I was sure that they would bring it to the Switch, but they just made a new game and they didn't do that. So.
I'm surprised you didn't import it, Perry.
Well, I would have imported it, but the 3DS is not region free.
Yeah.
Well, then you could have just bought.
I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah, you could have bought a Japanese 3DS while you were at it.
I'm not going to do that.
Come on, Perry. Would you stop?
Just
not
order it right now.
Boy.
I'm not a fan of your negative attitude right now. Like, you need to support Nintendo at all costs.
You need to be a doer.
I don't think they'd want me doing that, though.
You guys can see this. The people can't see it. But I bought this 2DS Animal Crossing. It's Japanese exclusive.
Ooh, that's cool.
It's gorgeous. 2DS.
It really is. That's cool.
See, I'm a true fan. It's obvious, Perry, that you're just.
I'm definitely not a fan of Nintendo.
He's more of a Microsoft.
I'm more of a Sega kind of guy.
Is that what you are? Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Wait.
Who's the one on Switch Island that wanted to bring Sega games? Was that Casey?
Don't tarnish my good name.
Casey wanted to bring Diablo 2.
Oh, that's right. And you wanted to bring Sega, right?
No, I'm kidding.
About Sega
I don't
games.
like Sega. No, I don't. It wasn't us.
I
wanted to bring WarioWare DIY.
Yeah,
because
the only one.
I'm a creative person,
that got the rejection.
And all these guys were like, no, we just want to play the same old game over and over again. We don't want to we don't want to be able to create anything. They're lazy.
Perry.
That's when I realized, you know what? Maybe I don't want to be on this island. Maybe I'll start my own island.
Screw this island.
That's because they pushed you off the island, pretty much.
They sure did. I know.
Yeah.
That's why. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. They don't know what they got. What they got you.
I'll start my own island with blackjack.
There you go. See, what they don't realize is having you on the island. You have a cheat, and that's meaning Jules would just be sending you games for free.
That's right.
So you would have a constant flow. Like they don't realize that.
Exactly. They don't realize that, and
he's cheating.
That's so hot. Anyway, Casey, I know that you have been not playing games, but you have been watching movies.
Yes, Lord. I went and saw the good old
Nintendo type thing that came out.
Yep, dipped back and watched Mortal Kombat, the 1996 film, I believe.
No, you did not.
I really want to, actually.
Don't do that to yourself.
Johnny Cage, man, like, come on. 95, excuse me. I I do want to go back. I do want to go back and watch that movie. But no, I went and saw Detective Pikachu.
Now, wait a minute. Before you do anything, are you going to get spoilery or no?
No. I won't.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
The ending is no. No.
He evolves into Raichu.
Yeah. Dang it, Bobbit.
Detective.
You
That'd be
just broke my
amazing if
heart.
the sequel was Detective Raichu. By the way, that really would be amazing.
Yeah, could you imagine?
That
Could
would
you
be
imagine?
awesome.
Oh.
And there's a prequel called Detective Pichu.
Oh my god.
See?
No.
All right.
Please stop.
I'm done.
But yes. Anyway, so the movie starts out essentially. I don't even know the main kid's name, but he's sort of, I don't know, semantics.
Ash?
You know? No, yeah, Ash Ketchum. Actually, I wonder if I could find his name. But anyway, he's.
I mean, dude,
No
listen,
one
that's
cares.
like watching Marvel, watching the Avengers, and not going like, I don't know, you don't know the villain's name. Like,
there you go,
come on,
Tim.
dude.
Tim, there you go.
I
Tim
don't know if it's
Goodman.
exactly the same.
He's.
Well, I mean, you watch a movie and the guy's in the movie the whole time. Like, you should know who
I was
he is,
looking
right?
at the Pokemon. Dang it, not the kid. But
Okay.
anyway,
What's his name?
Tim Goodman.
Tim Goodman.
That's such a horrible name.
So essentially, he finds out like his dad has passed away, right? And his dad lives in Rhyme City, so he like has to go travel there to, I guess, like clean out his apartment, go get his belongings and whatnot. His dad was a detective, so it's something along like, oh, like he died, whatever, and then essentially he goes to the his apartment, and then that's sort of where he meets Pikachu, and it's like, oh, it's like actually it was his partner, you know what I mean? Like it was my dad's partner, so. It's very much like he doesn't want anything to do with it. Like, he just wants to get out of there, And, like, everyone's like, well, where's your Pokemon? Like, everyone has a Pokemon partner. And he's like, I don't want it, Like, I don't want a partner. Like, he's happy, like, where he is kind of thing. But then he sort of gets roped into, like, trying to, like, solve the mystery of, like, what happened to his father, And, like, obviously that connects into, like, the whole Pokemon world and all that jazz. And, like I said, I don't want to get too spoilery or anything. But it's really well done. Like the story isn't like groundbreaking, like, oh my god, like it'll make you think for ages, But it's cute.
I really thought it would be.
Perry's been thinking about it for ages.
I really have.
But yeah, like you know what I mean. Like the story was engaging enough that like I was interested in seeing how it played out, and like I'm not like when I see movies like. I don't really, like, try and, like, think, oh, like, how is this going to end? Like, I'm more of, like, well, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to enjoy it, So you might be able to, like, sort of, like, how things play out. Like, you might be able to solve the problem, how it all went down, like, if you're really critically thinking about it, But, like I said, I sat back in my nice AMC recliner chair with my big old sody pop and just enjoyed. And it's really cool because there are just tons of Pokemon. So, like, when you get into Rhyme City, it was built to be, like, Pokemon and people, like, they're synonymous. Like, everyone sort of, like, goes and does their things. Like, no one's better or worse than anyone. So, like, you're walking through this huge city, and, there's skyscrapers and, like, lots of cool neon lights, which, if you looked at any, like, the promotional, material, you sort of see those lights and like all the neon, but it's just cool to see all the Pokemon just like wandering around the city. Like you've got like a Machamp. He's like, is that like the final version of
Did
that?
you say Machamp?
Machamp.
Oh, Machamp.
He's directing traffic. You know what I mean? Like with his arms. Yeah.
Chain Chomp's brother.
Yeah, the Chain Chomp's bro. Mm-hmm. Yeah, his distant cousin.
Machamp. Don't touch Machamp.
Yeah, that's Machamp, boy. But yeah, it's just like really, really cool how the Pokemon like translate into a more realistic style. Like obviously, like with the Sonic movie trailer coming out, a lot of you sort of see Sonic and you're like, yikes, Yeah. But like all the Pokemon are really well done. Even like the Jigglypuff was showing off one of the trailers, which is funny because it's like man, that's sort of weird to look at, But overall, I really enjoyed it. And most of the people I've talked to have really enjoyed it as well. And I think, well, we got a little news bit later on about how it did on its opening weekend. But yeah, I mean, I would recommend, like, if you have any interest in seeing it, like, I think it was totally worth it. And at this point, they're probably out. But I did get like a 2-pack of Pokemon cards when you like for buying my ticket, you know. And I got a Detective Pikachu and a Charmander.
Nice.
That's really nice.
Little Charmander.
Awesome.
Yep. But yeah,
I'm
like Ryan
gonna
Reynolds, super funny, you know, like, of course, you know, like that's sort of his shtick. You know, he does a good job as Pikachu. And then, yeah, worth seeing, I would say.
Great. Well,
I mean, you said you're gonna wait till DVD. Do you have plans to see it, Bobby?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I was gonna try to go this weekend, and I didn't for whatever reason. I think I was podcasting or something this weekend, like a madman, like an idiot, like I always do. But I think I'm gonna try to get there this weekend, probably Sunday. So I'm not a fan of crowds. As I start to get older,
me neither. That's why I haven't seen Avengers yet.
Well, Avengers wasn't that bad. I went to the the first showing of the day on a Sunday. It wasn't that bad. It was still pretty packed, but it wasn't that bad. But I just, you know what I mean? Like, I can't stand the way people go to movies nowadays, and like they like to talk and all that stuff. And I tell them shut up. I
that's
get
interesting
mad.
Because that hasn't affected the Midwest where I live, because I always wonder on those stupid things they have before the movies, like, don't talk during the movie, don't put your cell phone off. I was like, why? Like, no one ever does that, ever.
Oh,
ever,
dude!
around
I can tell you some stories, man. I can tell you some stories.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I mean,
I don't like it. So I don't like crowds. So I typically try to go week 2 to a movie if I can, because by week 3 they're pretty much pushing it out of theaters. So, but I think this one will probably last a little bit longer because it's doing pretty well. But you know, I'll probably go this week to see it because I definitely want to see it. I love Ryan Reynolds. I feel like this is kind of Deadpool-ish, you know, PG Deadpool-ish. And that's kind of, I love him, dude. I've loved him since Van Wilder. I think the guy is
good old
amazing.
Van Wilder, man.
That movie is amazing. But yeah, he's really good.
Yes.
All right, Perry. Well, you have been playing something.
I have been, and I'm going to keep it quick because I got to head out. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about Shakedown, Hawaii. Yes, I've been playing a little bit of this. Like I played about 5 seconds of it from last week, but then I played about 2 hours of it since then.
About 10 minutes.
It is a shiny and crisp little game. It's gorgeous pixel art, great music, funny dialogue. The idea is you're just this old fart that used to own the island, basically, or he used to, you know, be a big shot, and now you're not, basically, because like you used to own like Blockbusters and like, you know, like
he got time got the best
like,
of him.
like stores, like department stores that, and then they talk about how that was replaced by streaming and Amazon, that kind of stuff. But and so you're trying to, so the idea is now you're going to start going to separate little businesses, and you're getting your money back, you're getting your rain back. So you go around and you're going to little businesses, and you're actually making them pay their protection money. And I mean, that's just a quick part of it, you know, but then it's just really funny, you know, because it's just, and there's so many different ways of that you can get, like that you can get money, like you can start, like you can start a VR company. That's part of the very beginning of it, which is just funny because they think to make money you're going to have a VR business. Lots of poking fun at the video game business. You know, they just lots of breaking that fourth wall type stuff. I mean, it's not completely, but yeah. But you play as different characters, and it goes through this little funny story, very very similar to Retro City Rampage. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
Retro City.
Are they the same people?
I think it's a sequel, isn't it?
It's just like a spiritual successor.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. It's not the same. Yeah. It's not the same.
I mean, well, it's kind of like.
I don't think it's the same
like
story, same people.
No. But I think it's like GTA, where GTA like does something, and then they'll do a sequel, but it's not really the same people, but it's the same premise, like the same type of gameplay.
Yeah, same gameplay. Yep.
Yeah. My question to you is, because this thing, I was going to grab it this weekend, and I was like, the $20 price tag kind of, I balked at it a little bit.
Yeah, it is kind of high, right?
I thought so.
Yeah.
I thought 15, 10 to 15 was probably the sweet spot. Cause,
yeah, I'd say this is more of a $15 game. I mean, for
sale game?
digital. Yeah, I think it's definitely a sale game. I mean, it's definitely fun, and it's funny because I was playing it with my wife today. I just kind of shown it to her, and the first thing she said when I started it was,
looks like a $15 game.
No. She said, this looks fun. And, because it does look fun. Because, like, just being able to, the open world, I was just, because what I did is she didn't really know what kind of game it was. So I got in the car and I was driving, and, this looks like fun. Then I proceeded to run over everyone on the sidewalk. Oh! What? And then I proceeded to use a flamethrower to light everyone on fire and burn down a forest and attack the police. And it's just, good, clean fun,
It's good, clean fun.
And then I proceeded.
Very wholesome.
Yeah, I proceeded to go and take a baseball bat and break all the shelves in a local bookstore so that I could shake. It has this little like thing. I don't talking to the guy like, like you need some protection, and the guy's like, get out of here. And he's like, it's gonna be kind of hard to make a lot of money if you don't have any shelves. And then you break all the shelves, and then okay, and then it's really funny.
You shook him down, huh?
Yeah, I shook him down, and it's great. It's based in Hawaii, and I think there's this one jerk that you meet. He's basically the Fatherton of the game, and you just, spoiler alert, I guess it's just a real quick thing, but you have to take, like, he kicks you out and you take his car and you just run it off into the ocean. So it's really fun. Right. It's really funny. I would say my quick critiques on it would be that. It's pretty sane. I mean, it's pretty it's not really very dynamic. Like the idea, it's just kind of, you're constantly doing like a lot of things. Now there's one where the missions, you're constantly doing the similar missions, but sometimes they step out and they're really fun. Like the idea, like you got to go around and find these delivery vans and destroy them. And I know that sounds like a very obvious, kind of fetch quest kind of thing. Stuff like that's a lot of fun. I mean, I hope that they make the quest. I mean, I'm still at the very beginning of the game, learning all the different, because there's lots of different
areas.
What do you call it? Systems. There's lots of different systems, that you're claiming land, and you're shaking down a business, or it's just a lot of different things actually, and there's a lot of experience points they're making and stuff. So I'm still learning new stuff of how to do it. So anyway, but I would say so far it's been kind of very guided, but I guess that's the story. I guess at any time you can go out and do stuff, but you kind of want to follow the story. And anyway, the cutscenes are great. I think the dialogue is great, and like I said, it's so crisp and nice, and it's a good game. I've been liking it so far. I'm excited to play a little more of it. So finish it, because I don't think the story's too long. So, but then there's different arcade modes and stuff like that, which sound fun. So. Yeah, but yeah, 1999. I mean,
steep.
That was the one thing steep. I was like, it is a little steep, but
yeah,
but
it's probably
not. It's not out of the.
And especially
not crazy. It's not crazy.
Looking at that game too, though, when you're sort of scrolling through the eShop, you're gonna see that game, right? And then you're gonna see 30 other games that look pretty similar to it. At least graphically and visually, and those games, I bet you are not going to be $20. And not to say it isn't content-wise, but
visually
what's that?
Gorgeous.
Oh, no.
This game is amazing.
Yeah, but there are a lot of really visually gorgeous games, especially pixel art games, you know what I mean?
And not like this one, though. This one is one of the top.
Nope.
No, I'm serious. No. I'm just saying that this one isn't, this one really is the top of the pixel art game. I mean, it's kind of up there with not up to Owlboy, but I'm just saying it's really, really nice. Really nice animations and stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to make that point.
Did you buy this physically?
I'm going to. It's not available yet.
You monster.
You would think as long as it took them to put the thing out that it would be physical by now.
I know.
Because this game was announced year one of Switch.
Yeah.
This was during the original.
Retro City Rampage was like the last WiiWare game. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was crazy, you know?
Yeah.
It's so crazy to think it's a WiiWare game. But guys, I gotta head out. So dang it, Bobby.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you. So I'll see you later. Maybe I'll be back later. You never know. So
Well, yeah, don't rush it.
I'm not gonna rush it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk
I'm
to
not
you.
Russian. I'm American. All right. See you guys later.
Yep,
See you later, buddy.
Bye.
Alrighty, so Perry's gone. It's about time. I think I speak for both Bobby and I when I say amen. No,
No. Don't let me into that one. No. That's all you, man.
Alrighty. Now, do you have anything else to talk about as far as game-wise, what you've been playing, or should we take a quick little break?
I think I'm good. We can take a break if you want.
All right, we'll take a quick little breather, and then we're going to come back with the new eShop Roundup LL. Alrighty, we are back, and it is that time again. The new eShop Roundup.
The new eShop Roundup. eHaw.
LL, it keeps getting iterated almost on a weekly basis since we, like you said, when you were laughing how we go through everyone and we miss
Every game, yeah.
Asinine, that's what that was.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Oh, God, yeah, so we've definitely made it much easier. But before we get into our picks of the week, we do have a winner from last week. We were giving away Hell is Other Demons, and the winner on Twitter is Tales of Hyrule. The Twitter handle is @bookworm13x. I've actually heard back from them, so they've got their copy of Hell is Other Demons. And that brings us to this week's giveaway. Thanks to one Jules Watcham, as you, it wouldn't be a podcast without his name mentioned at least 13 times. He has supplied us with a code for Mutant Mud's collection. So we'll be giving that away, and it's going to be the same way as we did it last week. You'll just pop over to Twitter, you follow us there, and then you retweet the episode, this episode, you retweet that sucker, and you are entered for a chance to win a Mutant Mud's collection for the Switch. And
Very nice.
If you don't win it, that's okay, because all his games are 80% off right now. So
I was going to say that, I was going to say, we can't talk about this roundup unless you talk about Jules' games being on sale.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's insane, the price.
Yeah, 80%. And that's off all the games. You know, that's Zeo Drifter, you know, that's, Muds, that's everything. So
I mean, Muds, you're getting 3 games in Muds.
Three
that's
real
a
good
steal,
games,
man.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
I love me some Mutant Muds. So
Yeah, I do too.
you will definitely want to check that out. And like I said, if you don't win, it's okay, because you can get it at literally a fraction of the real retail price there. But now let's move into our picks of the week. Bobby? Dang it, Bobby, what you got?
Well, I already talked about Boxboy Boxgirl. That was one of the ones I had. But another game is Super Blood Hockey. I don't know if you know about this game. So on the original NES, there was ice hockey. Such a good game. And it was basically, you picked like either a fat guy, a skinny guy, or a medium-sized guy. Those were the 3 players, and different speeds. So like the skinny guy was really fast, but the problem was if you body checked him, he dropped right away. The big guy was slow, but he could like really hurt you. This one
bruiser.
is very this one is very similar to it in terms of like you pick between the 4 players, or you have to pick 4 players. And the ice rink is set up very much like it, except for when you hit people, like there's just blood splattering all over the ice. And it's like really cool, man. But it's like, what I like about it is they took what was great about ice hockey and they just ramped it up just a little bit. Like you have tournaments now you can play in, all this stuff. It's really a good game. And I want to say it was like $5, $10 maybe. But I love it. I love it a lot, and I'm playing it. I'm playing the heck out of it. It's such a good game, man.
It's actually I got a code for it, and I just have not had the time to play it myself. Actually, I have watched some video. Yeah, it's brutal. It just blood splattering all over the place.
I mean, you hit the referee, and the referee goes down, and the blood splattering.
I mean, all right. Well, if you weren't interested before, now you can take out the zebra, and he can spill some blood like That's what every sport fan really wants, you know?
Absolutely. Bad call. See you later, buddy. You're
Screw
going down.
you bastard. Alrighty, yes. Alright, so I've got 2 games here.
Okay.
We've got Arcade Archives. I always try and combine those words. Terraforce for $7.99. A great quote, spectacular screens as if watching a movie. 16 in all. Which I thought was funny. It's a shmup, and what's cool is it's side-scrolling, but you also have...
I hate that name.
What, you don't like the shmups?
I hate that name. The name is so stupid.
The shoot-em-ups?
Yeah, I hate that name. It's so dumb.
Well, now I know how to get under your skin. But yeah, so you got like the side scrolling, but you also have like the vertically scrolling as well. So it's sort of cool that it's got because usually I feel like it's one of the other. So it's cool to see sort of a mix up there. And then the other one is a little shout out to a game that we've talked about. Man, it had to be PAX East 2017. It had to be 2017. Redout. The really cool racing game, super fast, like really fast moving. Now I don't know, I can't speak to the quality of the port because it was something that was supposed to come out and then it was like, oh, is it coming? Like, was it canceled? And then it sort of resurfaced again and then it dropped. So it's $39.99. It's you're paying your premium dollar here. So I would definitely check out some reviews, but. From what we played, I think it was the PS4 version or something, super fast moving, really crazy, cool environments. And we talked to the dev, and he was super cool and excited about bringing it to Switch. So if they got it up and running and playing well, it was definitely a fun game that we got to play. So I figured that'd be a cool little game to check out.
Yeah. Is it like F-Zero or Fast Racing Neo or no?
Yeah, it's sort of like a mix, like very fast, and like there was a lot of like, oh, you went off the course, you know what I mean? Like it played. I mean, I guess Fast Racing Neo, like in Fast RMX, like got pretty speedy, but like this game felt even faster. Like very high emphasis on like you're moving fast, you know?
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
so
good
like I said, it was definitely on our radar. I remember Perry was really excited about it. Who knows, maybe we'll have to see if it's coming out to retail, because then he'll buy it and he can tell us. But he's a sucker, man. He's a sucker.
This coming from Casey, who bought Breath of the Wild on the Wii U just for the sake of it.
Don't talk about him like he's not here, man.
He'll listen to this later when he's editing, and we'll just be like,
what are you doing?
He'll edit it all out.
Exactly.
But yeah, there you go. So once again, just a reminder, definitely head over to Twitter. It should be a link right in our description if you're listening to this on podcast services, or really if you're listening to it on YouTube, there'll be a link and all that stuff too. So definitely go retweet that son of a gun and win Mutant Mud's collection, because it's a great game. But now, it is time for the news block.
News Talk with Casey Gibson.
Alrighty, so the first bit here we have. What, you know what, Bobby? Why don't do you have the show notes open?
I actually just opened them up.
All right, so you want to take the first bit right here?
Yeah, we could do this. So Tetris 99, big block DLC for $9.99. It adds offline modes, battle 98 bots, as well as a marathon mode. I don't know, man. I feel like that's kind of a ripoff. I don't know that those two modes are worth $9.99, in my opinion.
Yeah, I wonder if you buy that and you don't have the Nintendo... well, I guess if you don't have online, you can't play online. Because I was thinking, like, maybe it would be like, oh, I buy this version, right? And then I could play it without having the online service, but that would obviously... If you don't have online, you can't play online.
This adds offline modes. So the $9.99 is offline mode. So
I was thinking if maybe you didn't have the like online service, you know what I mean, and you wanted to. I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean,
it's dumb.
It seems a little expensive, I guess, for just those modes. I mean, if you are a big Tetris fan and you're on the go a lot, you know, I guess that adds value. But
see, here's my thing. I bought Puyo Puyo Tetris. So for me to spend $10 just for the marathon mode, because I'll be honest with you, I don't want to battle bots. If I'm going to play that game, I'm going to play it online. I want to play against people, not bots.
Yeah.
So, so to pay $10 for marathon mode, I think it's a waste of money. So for me personally, I'm not interested in this at all.
Yeah, if it was more like $4.99, would that be more up your like? You think a little more palatable?
I think $4, $5. That seems. I honestly don't understand why they're charging it all for it. Maybe, I mean, to me, the answer is, hey, if you're a Nintendo Online member, this is another freebie. But if you're not, then here's a way you could buy it and play.
Yeah.
You know, you just won't be able to play the online stuff. So,
yeah, that would make sense.
Man.
That seems like it would be like the smartest, because you're still rewarding the people who are already paying, even though the online service isn't that much. But a little strange.
Yeah.
Next up here, we've got some Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 The Black Order details. Now, this doesn't interest me at all. But I figured it would be it would probably be of interest to a lot of people. So this is Go Nintendo had like a whole big list of like, if you really want to get into the nitty gritty, like with characters in it and all that stuff. But I sort of just took some of the major plot points here. Team Ninja is going to be handling the development. Marvel Games is providing writing talent, character selections, and watching over the authenticity of it all.
Nice.
I was going to say, I'm sure that's probably music to a lot of people's ears, so you're not going to get like a crappy random, like people who have nothing to do with Marvel trying to write like a Marvel story.
Nice.
Now, this next bit I think is the most interesting, is that Nintendo visited Marvel before the Switch was even revealed to show them the hardware and their plans moving forward. And it turned out this actually convinced Marvel Games to work with Nintendo to bring this franchise back from what seemed like was the dead, right? Like it was pretty much kaput. So, I mean, obviously Marvel is huge, right? I mean, I'm not a comic book or a superhero kind of guy, so like to me it's like whatever, but obviously, I mean, Nintendo showed them the Switch before it was even a thing, like that's whoo.
I mean, let's be fair. Let's be honest here. Like, Marvel's the hotness right now. Like, everybody loves it.
Oh yeah.
You look at what Endgame is doing right now in theaters. It's unbelievable. It'll probably sorry, by the time it's done, it's going to probably be like the number one grossing movie of all time on the pace they're going. I just think it's a smart move by Nintendo, one that I would have never have thought. Like, you would go to Marvel before the thing launches. And it's crazy because I remember having conversations with like Jules and some of the other indie developers, and I'm like, I don't understand why Nintendo's not giving you developer kits. Like, why is, like, you guys should be getting them right away. And here's Nintendo courting Marvel Games and Team Ninja and all these other companies, and it's working out well for them, it seems.
Yeah, like you said, it's like Marvel can do no wrong right now, so to have them in your corner is and especially like all the, like, because I'm again I'm not really in the like Marvel Ultimate Alliance as far as the previous games, but from what I understand, there was like like maybe not like the largest fan base, but like a ravenous fan base. They were really into it.
Yes.
So it curries the favor with that. It sort of reminds me of like Bayonetta, like it had that, maybe not the largest fan base, but it's one that was really passionate. So like to sort of, like, it's just, getting that good favor with different, areas of gaming, and of course Marvel obviously has a little more, universal appeal than Bayonetta. But yeah, to have, kids and parents are going to be going to the store and they're going to see Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, like, I need that. Buy it for me, Mom. Dang it, Bobby, no.
You're gonna run that into the ground, man.
Yep, I can hear the unfollows already.
Exactly.
But yeah, the store is gonna apparently rides the line between the comics and movies, so it should be interesting to see how that does. Now, did we have a release date for that? Or maybe not a release date, but a release window.
I thought it was definitely 2019. I thought it was the tail end.
Oh, there you go, July 19th, 2019. Okay, so there you go.
That's
not that far.
Very quickly.
Yeah, 2 months just about. Dude, I mean,
Awesome.
we're going to get real into E3 business soon, but my God, it is literally less than a month away, man.
Ugh.
Now, we did say we were going to be talking about Detective Pikachu, didn't we?
Yeah, so this me this time? Okay, so Detective Pikachu opens at an estimated $58 million for opening weekend, highest opening for a video game adaptation in history, passing 2016's Tomb Raider reboot by about $10 million. Also the highest Pokemon movie, passing 1999 Pokemon, the first movie, by about $26.5 million. I think the bigger tell here is this. The fact that it earned $58 million, right, and didn't come in first place for the weekend. Endgame still took the weekend.
They're still running with it, right?
But the thing of it is like, for a movie to score $58 million and like, not get first place on a weekend, like... I didn't expect this movie to do $100 million the first weekend at all. The main reason is because it's not a true Pokemon game or a Pokemon movie. You know, it's kind of like an offshoot, so it's not going to be as rabid. You're not going to have that ravenous fans. But the fact of like Marvel is still doing what they're doing in the movie theaters, and this movie comes in and is able to grab a big stake, because typically when you look at the money that Marvel made in this week. Most movies, like second place, would have been like $10 million.
Yeah.
So the fact
difference...
that they did $58 million is a lot of money for them. That's amazing.
Now, was this past weekend the launch weekend for Detective Pikachu? Was that the second or third week? Third week,
That
right?
is the third week.
Okay.
Yeah, third week for Marvel.
Man, that. I mean, I know
that movie is.
I know the budget
just,
was probably astronomical, but my goodness, the return has to be insane.
Oh, they've buried the return already. Like, I think
Probably
they
night
said
one.
Well, I was listening to the radio today, and they were talking. I was listening to the Howard Stern show, and they were talking about how I think it did $760 million domestically. Like, that's not even worldwide right now.
Oh my goodness!
So that movie, let's say that movie at tops $300 million to make, they're burying it. Like they're making money hand over fist right now. So I think the most impressive thing about that franchise is how much money Disney paid to get that franchise. And people were like, "Are you kidding me?" And look at them now. Like, that is unbelievable.
Let's see. I pulled up a website, Box Office Mojo. I can't talk to how accurate they are, but they said the production budget was $356 million, and they have domestic total as of May 13th. $728.5 million. And like you said, worldwide is going to be like, dang, man. Plus foreign. So worldwide it's at 2.5 billion.
That's just
not bad.
That's oh my God. That's sickening, man.
Yeah. It's like, where's my cut, guys?
Exactly.
Give me 0.0001% and I'll be happy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
But yeah, I mean, great news for Detective Pikachu, and I also feel like it might be one of those movies that, like you said, like we saw Endgame, like it might have a decent, box office life as well, especially with, like, I think the word of mouth has been generally pretty positive, so like people that were maybe on the fence, like, I don't really care to go see a Pokemon movie, but then maybe hearing things like, it was actually pretty good,
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Like, Ryan Reynolds has been just doing the Ryan Reynolds stuff leading in, and it's just amazing stuff. Like, that's why I say it reminds me of Deadpool so much, because when, like, Deadpool did these he was doing these real weird, quirky, like, photographs and, like, little stupid things on Twitter and just crazy stuff that he was doing. He was doing the same stuff with Detective Pikachu. And it was like, this is amazing, man.
Yeah.
Like, he was doing audition things and, like, how his family was acting, like, weird. Like, he just really leaned into it. It was so cool what they did.
Yeah, I think I saw he tweeted out, it was like, or I saw it on Reddit, it was like, Ryan Reynolds just tweeted out, like, a pirated version of, like, Detective Pikachu. And, like, you click on it, it goes to YouTube, and it's, like, starts out like it's the beginning, like, any movie, and then all of a sudden it's just Pikachu dancing around for an hour and a half, like just doing like a little jig, you know, and it's like that good old Ryan Reynolds, man.
Well, he's amazing,
dude. I need to go back and watch the Van Wilder movies again. Those, it's funny too because I think
good.
back to I guess like a rom-com he did that I saw. What is it called? Hold on, I gotta find it. It was when he was like the big fat kid. And he like loved.
Oh yeah.
And he loved his neighbor. And then he came.
So good.
Then he came back when he was like, you know, like
Hot.
a super successful skinny guy. And like, but then he's trying to be like the douche, like I'm a fancy, you know, and just totally blowing it. And I'm just like, man, that guy. Yeah, Just Friends. I think that's what it's called.
That's it.
I was like, man, he went from doing movies like that, which was it was a good movie. Like I enjoyed it, but like to the Deadpools of the world, like. It's just so funny, like, his trajectory was just through the roof, man. Like you said, anything this guy touches, it's like, goes to gold.
It's amazing.
But moving along from the Ryan Reynolds love fest here, we've got Nintendo announces their E3 plans, which is pretty standard for the, you know, as per the last couple years. We've got the Splatoon 2 World Championships starting June 8th at 11 a.m. Pacific Time. And then to follow that is the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate World Championships 3v3. I guess interesting.
I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah,
okay.
You know, whatever. Those will follow Splatoon at 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Then, of course, the good stuff, we got Nintendo Direct June 11th. That is a Tuesday, as per usual. Starting at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, and then you've got 3 days of gameplay and dev talk beginning, you know, right after that with Treehouse Live, which, you know, I love the Treehouse Live, man. Like, it's just great to have that streaming pretty much for a couple days and getting a better look at all that good stuff and the occasional
It makes me
drop.
wish they did it like once a week.
Yeah, for
Just
real.
Like, once a week. Just
every Friday night.
Do that. Oh my God, it'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't. I mean, obviously not every week, but I'm surprised they don't set that up as like a bi-yearly thing, you know, where it's like, hey, like after, like, because some of these directs are pretty meaty, you know, like, you know, like, I know the January one this year, I don't even think there was a January one.
It was February.
Yeah, it was February. Like, so yeah, the beginning of the year one, that's usually pretty substantive, you know, like, it'd be cool if they were like, hey, we're going to do like a 3-hour Treehouse Live right after that, you know?
Well, you think about it, when they did the Switch reveal, right? They followed it up the next day with a Treehouse.
Yeah, and that was
like,
much better than the presentation.
Oh my God, yes. My God. Thank God they did that.
I know people
were literally jumping off their roofs.
I know, man.
They were like, the Switch is dead.
Oh,
and the next thing you know, they come out the next day and it's like, no, we got all these great games, man. It was pretty awesome.
That was a nice reminder why Nintendo was smart to go to the direct / pre-recorded, and Sony's doing it now too. It's like there's just so much can go wrong during a live event.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when like a lot of these things are wireless, and then everyone has their cell phone. Oh God, we're gonna get into some of that, but
you just eliminate that part of it, and just throw in the fact of like the pacing. Waiting for one person to walk off the stage and another one to show up.
The applause,
it's like the pacing is horrible. Yes, I understand you want the pops. You want to hear the crowd like cheer at certain stuff, but at the end of the day, like it's not good.
It's not worth it.
What Nintendo does now is fantastic, and like that's what you need to be. You can't have this nonsense of like, oh, here's Miyamoto, he's on stage. Now Miyamoto's going to walk off with Bill Trinan, and we got to wait for, Furukawa to come up now. And it's like so dumb.
Yeah, here's a dev from a third-party developer that nobody knows, and everyone's like, yeah, okay, like, show us something.
and because Nintendo is a Japanese company, you have to wait for translations all the time, where I like what Nintendo does, where they, like, the guy's talking, and then they dub over him, and it's just, it plays so much better. If you want to see what a Nintendo Direct would be like today, just watch Square Enix. You watch Square Enix, and that's going to be exactly, because they're going to do the stage, they're going to be real awkward, it's going to be pacing issues out the wazoo, you're going to have translators coming out, and the weird thing is like, sometimes they even throw the translate, like, nothing is more, dull than having a guy speak Japanese for, a minute, and then stop, and then someone repeat what he just said, but in English. And it's like, you could do so much better.
And then when they go
thing.
off the script, and then all of a sudden the translator's trying to work it on the fly, like, oh crap, like, what did he say?
He don't know what's being said. Yeah, it's so dumb. So,
oh god, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Yeah, I'm not.
And then Square Enix is like, look at all these dope games that are coming out in 2025. Woo!
You're a mess.
Yes. But yeah, that's the end of the news block. Not too much news, and honestly, well, I guess I should say there was a Mario Maker Direct announced today, but I believe Perry and I are going to do like a quick little synopsis that we're going to tack on to the end of this episode. So, yeah, and if not, well, you already know about everything that already happened because this comes out after that. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited about that. Are you a big Mario Maker man?
So I just did a video yesterday that said I am not excited for Mario Maker. And I think that's because of, what I basically broke down in the video was I'm not a fan of the ability to find levels, the way they go about it. I think it's very poor. I don't like the fact that you can't tag levels. It's just a mess, in my opinion. So there are some things that I feel like Nintendo needs to fix. The don't move levels were just obnoxious. I would like the fact of if they could build worlds, if they give us worlds where actually when I get a 1-up, it means something. It's not just me getting a 1-up. That makes no sense to me. I get these 1-ups and they do nothing for me at all. So I would like to see Nintendo allow me, if I'm the creator, to create a world 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, and let people kind of work through those. And this way, too, you have progression, and it's a build-up, and it feels more like a game, so to speak.
And you can sort of make
just a one-off.
Yeah, themed worlds, too, right? So you can have sort of, like you said, where, this is the concept for this world, and, in the beginning, it's going to be simple, so you could sort of see how it, it flows, and then you're going to ramp it up. So then this way, you're not just, getting thrown into a super hard level where you're, still trying to figure out what to do necessarily, where it's you have that build up. Now, I'm excited for it in the sense, I'm going to get it, I'm going to play it, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not foaming at the bit for it. But now, so also I haven't really followed too much leading up to it, and granted, I don't think there has been a ton of information given out. So I'm not sure, maybe, so let's say tomorrow, or whenever you're listening to this, if it's already been announced, they can add worlds. Worlds are now a thing, right? Is that something that's enough to pull you in, or do you really need to see that online to really, benefit and them address how you go about finding levels?
I think the main thing for me is it's a mixture of the two. But if they did worlds, it would probably make me go, I think I'm going to give this another swing. I'm going to be honest with you. I will probably, I'm probably about 40% sold. So it's not going to take much for me to buy this game.
Just a little nudge.
That's all I need. I just need to, and I think the Direct is a perfect thing. The Direct got me excited for two reasons. One, it means that we won't see Mario Maker 2 at E3, which is good for me. I don't want to waste time on this thing. We know what it is. Let's just get it out there. And by the way, it launches 2 weeks after E3, so what's the point of even talking about it? At that point, if you haven't sold the game, you're not going to sell it at E3.
Yeah.
And then two is, I'm hoping that there's just enough in there to give me that nudge. I'm very close. I'm very close right now. A little nudge wouldn't hurt. So we'll see what happens. But I'm very optimistic going into this Direct. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it comes with it would be amazing if they give us, 8 worlds. So it's sort of like a, hey, it's a Mario game with Mario Maker. These were 8.
That would be awesome.
If you think about it, the developers have to be, obviously they're testing everything. They've probably made a whole slew of amazing levels. Just package those up into a base game, or even, you know what I mean? That would be enough where it's okay, I'm gonna play through all of those levels, because essentially it's a Mario game, and then it's got the amazing builder as well. Because I feel like I always like, oh, I'm gonna build some cool levels, and then I like do like a few, and I'm like, yeah, these are probably not very great levels, and then I sort of move on.
Like, could you imagine playing a Mario game that takes you through different worlds or different games? Meaning, if you played a Mario game made by Miyamoto, that like one level you're playing the NES version, and then you switch, like World 1-1 is the NES, and then World 1-2 is New Super Mario Brothers, and then World 1-3 is, 3D World, and then you go back to 1-4 and it's back to the original Mario, and then 2-1 is Super Mario Bros. 3. Like, it'd be really kind of cool,
That'd be, yeah,
to be able to switch, but I would like that to be created by Nintendo and be like, this is what we're doing. So I'm excited. I'm getting more excited because I'm more excited for the Direct tomorrow. Because, like I said, that's the litmus test for me. That's basically going to see, is it going to push me over the edge, or am I going to step further away from it? So I am excited for the Direct because I'm hoping they'll wow me and get me back on ship. Now, the first one that came out, I loved it. And I loved it for about 60-plus hours. And then when I put it down, I never went back. So, but when I was playing it and I was creating levels and doing that stuff, like, I got pretty wrapped up in it, like making levels. So I also want to see how you design the levels. That's a big thing for me, too. I did hear from a friend of mine, Donnie Reese, from the Nintendo Shack. Mine went blank. that if you pre-order this game, it comes with a stylus. So
I hope
that kind of made me go like, okay, because that was what I was saying. Like, I love creating games on the Wii U or levels on the Wii U because you had a stylus and you had the little tablet in your hand. So if I can get that stylus and then that's how I operate my Switch, it kind of perks me up a little bit to go, okay, this might be what I want. It could be. It could be the thing that goes like, hey, this is actually pretty easy to create levels. If I'll be honest with you, if they were to turn around and say, hey, if you own this game on the 3DS, on the Wii U, you can create your levels on those games
and port, and
they'll transfer. Then I'd be like, I'm in. That would literally make me go, I'm in, because I think that would be a cool thing to have. Because I would definitely build levels with the Wii U. That Wii U gamepad to me was perfect for creating levels. Because not only that, it's like right there. And I know the Switch is, similar, but the difference is if I create something in handheld on the Switch, I have to play it in handheld on the Switch. What was nice about the Wii U was I could create it, and then it was up on the TV. And it was like, okay, this is awesome. So
yeah, Mario Maker was perfect for this the Wii U.
I always said that if Mario Maker and Splatoon 2 were like in year one of the Wii U, I don't think that we would have the Switch right now. I think that they would be probably just start talking about the NX now, but I think that we would have a different tale on the Wii U.
Yeah, it would be more similar life expectancy as the PS4 and everything. Yeah, because you hit those two boomers right out the gate. And then you get Breath of the Wild, still on the Wii U, and
Yep.
I mean, obviously, I'm not happy, that the Wii U had such a rough go at it, but I sure am happy with my Switch.
Oh, I love my Switch.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
But speaking of Nintendo E3 plans, we're gonna do a good old-fashioned breakdown of every single E3 since 1995. But we're going to take a quick little breather because we're going to need it. Alrighty, we are back and it is time to get those engines started. That's right, the E3 hype train. We're pouring in the coal. We're getting ready to leave the station, and we figured what better way to do that than take a look back at all of the different E3s over the courses of the year for Nintendo, starting with 95. I should give a quick shout out to IGN. Their wiki pages had tons of great information for all of these years, so it made going back and looking and finding all that pretty easy in one spot. So yeah, we're gonna start with 1995, which is a very long, nice time ago. Which is 24 years. Man, I'm getting old. Because I think back to it's like I'm like 95. Okay, like this is a long time, and then you're like, wow, that's 25 years ago almost.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is we're gonna start with 95 here. At this E3, N64 was already announced, the Ultra 64, but it was delayed. Yeah. I guess it was originally planned for 95, delayed to the following summer in 1996. But don't worry, they had something new for you. Unrevealed, the Virtual Boy launched that same year, and obviously we sort of know the fate of that.
Yeah.
But some of the big games shown and playable at that E3 were Killer Instinct, which I know they were doing a big push of that with their advertising. You had Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest, one of my all-time favorites. You had Donkey Kong Land, for the Game Boy. And then you had Earthbound, which I'm sure at the time they had no idea that they had such a game that would, 24 years ago still be revered as one of the games that people absolutely love and clamor for. But yeah, that's a very primitive early days of the Nintendo there. And moving on to 96, what do we got?
96, you had the N64 was playable on the show floor, and the big games for that year were Super Mario 64, Pilot Wing 64, Wave Race 64, and Star Wars Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah, so that was the year they really, we had known about N64, but that was like, hey, here are the games,
Yeah, and that seemed to be only games that were good for the first year. So
yeah, man, isn't it crazy to think that Nintendo 64 launched with 2 games?
I know, and those 2 games were, I think it was like 2-3 months before we got another game. It was a long time, man.
Bonkers. If you the cajones, I feel like nowadays, it would have probably been better to be like, well, why don't we sort of hold off a little bit,
But see, back then you could get away with that stuff because there was no way for people to rally the troops and grab their pitchforks and stuff. With the internet today, they never would have got away with that. You know what I mean? Like, people would have been like, I'm not buying it.
And
everybody would have jumped on board. But back then, it was like, no, it's a Nintendo, I'm buying it. Like, there's no questions asked, So...
Yeah, it would have been can you imagine the Switch launches with Breath of the Wild and
I mean, people got mad when it was only I think it was like 5 or 6 games that Nintendo announced, and people were losing their minds. And then all these indies started coming out and saying, well, we're launching, and I think it got up to like 12 games. But at first, I remember coming out of that announcement, the reveal showcase, and Sean Capri going like, there's no games, guys. There's no games. Like, what is going on? And then immediately after that, the games started getting announced. But it was like, yeah, they walked out. And so 2 games? Never would have happened. But I will say this. I think what helped them in this was they also put out one of the best games ever at that time. Like Mario 64 at that time was scoring 10s across the board and was just killing it. So... It helped. It definitely helped things.
Yeah, I mean, that was... And plus, just 3D gaming, And then all of a sudden you hit a banger with Super Mario 64, and it's just like, oh, wow, it, not only does it look amazing, but it plays amazing,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that... Funny story, I never owned Super Mario 64 for the N64.
Oh, my God. That's crazy.
I think that, the first time I ever beat Mario 64 was when it came out in the DS.
Oh,
with the D-pad or the little thumb strap. Do you remember that?
Yeah, man. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, well, I'm a monster. 1997. They're still pushing the N64, but we're going to see some more bangers here. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, obviously, again one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah.
You've got F-Zero X, which is a very good game in its own right, and again, sort of the transition to 3D, especially. I mean, F-Zero for Super Nintendo had the, mode 7, so you were still sort of same perspective, but to, obviously F-Zero X is a pretty cool game. And then you've got good old Banjo-Kazooie, which some people would tell you is better than Mario 64.
Yeah, well, some people are just stupid.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
It's a good game. I would dare to say that like this and Donkey Kong Country 64 were the games that almost killed 3D platforming.
The old collectathons?
The collectathons. Like, it was like, you got to be kidding me, man. Like, I can't beat this game until I collect 500 stupid, like, honeycombs and all this dumb stuff. Like, it was,
I remember with DK64, you needed two coins to get through an area, and you got them, or at least you got the one coin by playing the original Donkey Kong arcade game, and I just, for the life of me, could not do it. Like, you know, maybe if I went back now, I'd be able to, but like, at the time, I just couldn't do it. I remember like getting, trying my dad, and like his friends were over, like, please, like, somebody try and beat this for me. We couldn't do it. And then I never beat that game.
God.
1998 was a good year, though, huh?
Yeah, Miyamoto was in attendance with the dramatic graphics. I hope you feel like you have become Link. I hope you can feel. I hope you can feel his curiosity, his fear, his sense of danger. I feel the Zelda games are a great adventure book that combines the imagination of the author and reader.
A beautiful quote.
Good quote. The big games for that year: 12 Tales, Conquer 64, F1 World Grand Prix. What? These were the big games. F-Zero X came back for a second time. Cruisin' World. I remember this game coming out when it was huge because it was also in the arcade at the same time. And Pokemon Red and Blue. So this was the time where Nintendo started to tinker and try to put games in the arcade as well as on the N64. Because what they were trying to show people was that arcades were starting to fade right about now. But Nintendo was kind of pushing that to go like, hey man, this is what the games look like in the arcade. They're not that bad on the N64. Like, you might want to look at it. So... And that was basically like Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct was an arcade game. Cruisin' was an arcade game. I think they did some Super Mario games as well. But it was good times back then.
Yeah, and it's funny to think Pokemon too, because nowadays Pokemon's usually not, you know, E3. Maybe you get a mention of it, but like it's big enough where it gets its own little event, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, 98 Red and Blue, and I saw they were saying like, oh, it's the Japanese craze, you know, like it's you know, taking the world in Japan, and then all of a sudden, I'll never forget first playing Pokemon Blue. I had no idea what it was, but my friend had it, and I was just like, I was like, all right, 1999, that's when I got my first Game Boy, because I was like, Mom, I need this. I was like, I need it, you know?
Yeah.
My body. But yes, moving along here to 1999, it is when we're first get word of the GameCube, but it is announced as Dolphin, which obviously the code name for GameCube. Isn't that weird too? Like, I guess like we had NX and stuff, but like, I don't know, just so weird to announce the project as Dolphin.
Stupid. Yeah, it was stupid.
And it was announced originally as a DVD player as well, because that, you know, around 1999, that was when,
that's when everything was happening.
The PlayStation 2 was going to be a DVD player, and obviously was a DVD player, but GameCube went to the mini discs, so therefore the DVD player was removed. They also had the list of devs: EAD, Rare, Left Field, Retro Studios, and NSTC, which stands for Nintendo Software Technology Corporation, as developers for, you know, working on GameCube games. Obviously, you know, Retro goes on to make quite a few of them. But big games that year, we've got a good list of them here. Resident Evil for Game Boy Color, which was canceled. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, and another Star Wars game. Conker's Pocket Tales. You've got Bobby's favorite Donkey Kong 64. You've got Eternal Darkness, Excitebike 64, Jet Force Gemini, Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards, Mario Golf, amazing, Perfect Dark, Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Yellow, holy Pokemon, Star Fox 64, which is just a weird. I've played Star Fox 64, man. It is not made for consoles. And then a little game called Super Smash Bros, which, again, I can't imagine they had any idea what they had in their hands at that time with Smash Bros.
But the thing of it is, if you look, like, it's 1999, and you're 4 years later after the launch of the N64, and the games actually start ramping up 4 years later. Like, they didn't have anything really on this console. Mm-hmm. And N64 was a good console. It just, man, it didn't have much third party support. It struggled. It definitely
those
struggled.
Cartridges, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
Especially when you look over at PlayStation's side of things, where it's like, it's selling like gangbusters. And again, like, and I'm doing a little video on like the history of Resident Evil, and I was just looking at Resident Evil 2, right? It spans 2 discs, the original release, over a gigabyte of content. And then, I mean, kudos to Capcom and the team working on it. They were able to compress over a gig of memory down to the 64 megabyte cartridge, you know?
It's crazy.
So, like, again, I can't imagine the amount of time and effort it went in to do that. So, like, when you have all that quote-unquote unlimited space, you know, or, you know, seemingly unlimited at the time space for the CDs, like, it just doesn't, you know, I can see why people didn't bother bringing it to N64. Like, it just wasn't worth the time and effort, you know?
Not at all. So year 2000, we have lack of GBA and GameCube news, quiet year. Conker's area of Nintendo booth had an open bar.
Isn't that amazing?
That's nuts. Holy cow.
2000 Nintendo being edgy, man.
Yeah, no kidding. Big games that year were Banjo-Tooie, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Paper Mario, Mario Tennis, Pokemon Gold, Pokemon Silver, Resident Evil 0. So, pretty solid year, I think, as far as games go.
Yeah, again, you know, I know they were saying sort of a quiet year because they obviously in 1999 they announced Dolphin GameCube, right? Or codename Dolphin. So I guess 2000 you're sort of sitting in there like, we're going to hear about it. And then
nothing.
It's like, nah, but we got an open bar to drink. You know,
it's crazy. It's crazy because as Nintendo fans, we forget that this is the way Nintendo. Like, okay, so going into this year, right? Everybody thought like we're going to get a new Switch announced at E3.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we now know that Nintendo's not going to make an announcement on it. And people are like, I don't understand why. Why are you not talking about it? And it's like that's what they do. They don't reveal big hardware typically unless they have to, you know. And this is another example of it. Like, we revealed it, but now we're not even going to talk about it. We're going to act like it doesn't even exist. It's pretty crazy.
So weird.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, we wouldn't have to wait much longer. Well, just one more year, because 2001, the year of the GameCube, we get colors, pricing, release date confirmed, as well as you know, what would go on to be the launch lineup and games that came out shortly afterwards. We've got Star Wars Rogue Leader, Rogue Squadron 2. We've got Super Smash Bros. Melee, a game that's still very much played today. You've got Wave Race Blue Storm. You've got Pikmin, and you've got Luigi's Mansion, which I remember this E3 so well because it's like my eyes were set on Pikmin, man. Oh, when I fell in love instantly with Pikmin. And I remember it was 2001. I was I guess 12 years old. And I remember, like, at that point I was still convinced, like, I guess I was still easily convinced because my mom's like, it ain't happening. Like, you're not getting a GameCube, you know, like, there's no way. And I guess because, like, when we wanted an N64, like, we didn't get it the first year it came out. You know, we got it the following year for Christmas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I guess I was still like, oh, like, I'm not going to get it, you know. So that's when I shifted gears to, like, I'm getting a Game Boy Advance, you know. Like, that's what I want. And I remember just having dreams of Pikmin on Game Boy Advance and like waking up and be like, no, it's only for GameCube.
Oh, boy.
But my mom, God bless her heart, she got it for me. And, oh, man, Pikmin. Yeah. And Melee, too, man. Oh, banger. Melee wasn't a launch title. That came out, I think, if I remember correctly, it was like December 3rd.
Yeah.
I remember it came out like a month, or I guess less than a month, a couple weeks later.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is for me, I think, when my Nintendo fandom sort of went from like, I like video games to like, I freaking really like video games. You know, like this is where it was like to probably my earliest E3 that I can like really, really remember.
That's funny because this is right around the time where I just started to lose interest more and more. Not really right this point, but it's the beginning steps of me leaving. Because like so here we are, 2002. The big games are Super Mario Sunshine, The Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker, Zelda Four Swords, which was for the Game Boy, Metroid Fusion, which again Game Boy, Star Fox Adventures, terrible game. Metroid Prime is confirmed for the holiday release. And then Animal Crossing gets announced, and then what's the next one?
Resident Evil.
Oh, Resident Evil and remake.
Yeah.
Okay. So that gets announced as well. But this is the year that because year one, 2001, like when you look at that list, right? You look at Rogue Squadron, you look at Smash, you look at Pikmin, Luigi's Mansion. There's nothing that stands out in terms of these are fantastic games. I remember when they launched Luigi's Mansion, people were just like, where's Mario? Mm-hmm. Like, we don't want this stupid thing. Like, where's Mario? And then when Mario Sunshine hits, they rush that game. And that game's kind of broken when you get to the end. There's some serious issues with that game.
Don't you dare talk bad about the best Mario game.
Well, I'm not talking badly about Super Mario Bros. 2 or Super Mario Bros. World or Galaxy
best
or
3D Mario game. I should
that's
say
3D. That's 3D World, but that's okay. You're allowed to like bad things.
I do like Perry, I guess.
Well, that's the thing of it is like.
Thanks, Casey.
This is where, and not only that, like they show off the tech demo of Zelda, like super polished, and then they announce Wind Waker. For me, I was always a fan of Wind Waker, just because I'm a fan of cartoons and like that type of art style. Mm-hmm. But I remember my friends just being like, "F this! This is trash. I don't want to play this." And I was just like, "Hey man, it's like playing a Disney cartoon. Like I'm in." But this is when things start to ramp up a little bit for Nintendo and get a little good. But GameCube is definitely a weird time for Nintendo. Like, they're taking chances and trying new stuff with everything. All the franchises are getting all new, different mechanics and doing different things, and just totally different all across the board.
Yeah, it's actually funny, too, because growing up, like, my brother was pretty big into gaming as well. He's like 4.5 years older than me. So, like, I remember he got Link to the Past for his birthday, and I played, watching him, and then I got to play, and like, so he was always sort of like oh, he's gaming, I'm gaming, like, and then I remember, he loves Ocarina of Time, like, one of his favorites. And then, yeah, Wind Waker comes out. And he was in that camp of like, what in the hell is this? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I am off of it, And I feel like, again, that's sort of where he lost his interest, And like, he still plays games today, but he's more in the line of like, oh, like I pick up some Call of Duties, and like, that kind of, gamer, which is fine, obviously, like whatever you got to do. But like, yeah, he doesn't play Nintendo games anymore. I think that's where he sort of lost it. I was always on the Wind Waker train, I was like, I'm down with that. And I remember pre-ordering, I forgot if it was weird. I forgot it was Sunshine or Wind Waker. I remember you got like a sweet pre-order bonus. And I remember like going to Toys R Us. I was like, God, I gotta pre-order that. And I remember like trying to like, again, 2002, I was, 13 years old. I was like, I gotta find a way to get that money. And then it like dawned on me. I was like, oh, pre-order, you only need $5. It's like, perfect, But moving along to 2003, what a strange year, because the biggest announcement was Pac-Man Verse.
Yeah.
Which is a fun game. I will give it that. I do have that. it's weird because you need the connectivity. You know, you need to have your Game Boy to GameCube link, your Game Boy Advance. Actually, Perry and I played this game at PAX. The first time we ever met at PAX, we were playing Pac-Man Verse, and we were having a lot of fun with it. But yeah, strange game to be like your big announcement. Now, there were plenty of other good, really good games at this E3, but for some reason they had decided to like sort of blow the load before E3. They had Mario Kart Double Dash, which people, that's some people's favorite Mario Kart game. You got Pikmin 2. You've got Mario Luigi Superstar Saga, which, a great game. You've got Metroid Zero Mission, which, a really great remake of the original. Super Mario Bros. 4, Super Mario Bros. 3. Ugh. Naming.
People talk about the way they name stuff during the 3DS and DS era. Like, come on, dude.
Oh, man. You got Metal Gear Solid, Twin Snakes, Beautiful Joe, Resident Evil 4, one of the greatest games ever, like in the conversation, Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. So you've got a lot of really great games, that are playable at E3 in 2002. But, again, just went about it a Nintendo sort of going to the beat of their own drum.
Yeah.
And yet Pac-Man Verse, pushing that connectivity, baby.
Oh, boy. 2004, we have the almighty Reggie showing up for the first time. And Reggie comes out and says, "My name is Reggie. I'm about kicking ass. I'm about taking names. And we're about making games." That was the tagline that people just, they fell in love with Reggie at that point. It was the first look at what would become Twilight Princess, Nintendo DS. Big games that year were The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, DK King of Swing, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, Odama? What the heck is Odama?
That must have been... the Odama is... the like pinball game. Do you remember that?
Oh, okay, yeah, the garbage.
At first, I was thinking Okama, or Okami.
Metroid Prime Hunters, Super Mario 64 DS, WarioWare, Pac-Pix, Steel Diver. So this was essentially where we were for everything in 2004. This is where I start to come back.
They're reeling Bobby back in.
A little bit. Like, I had left for sure around 2003. 2004, I'm still kind of fading, though. The DS is not a thing for me. Twilight Princess, I didn't even see the reveal. I kind of fall off, and I'm not paying much attention to Nintendo, so I'm really not in the loop in 2004. But I still got a couple years before I come back full swing. But this was definitely, I'm bowing out a little bit at this point.
Yeah, this is another one that sort of sticks out to me because I was all about that Nintendo DS. And at this point, I am 14, 15 range. Again, I remember I've told this story before, but my dad goes hunting, so it's like it was a year before I could actually like technically go hunting. Like I went with them, but like I wasn't able to like actually go hunting, I was a year too young. So pretty much I would just get up with them stupid early in the morning and sit in the woods for however many hours. And I just remember sitting there just like, man, and this was in November, I was like, man, I just want to go get that Nintendo DS so bad. Just, and that's like, to me, like the Nintendo DS is like definitely a special console because it was the first console I had. Like I was a caddy that following year, so it was like the first time in my life I had income. Oh man, I bought so like that's definitely, if you look at my gaming shelf, it's like the DS. There's just a stupid amount of games.
It's a good thing.
I was buying like anything and everything. Oh, the good old days. 2005, we've got the first look at Midna. We'd seen a little bit of Twilight Princess. But then we saw Midna, the first look at that, which is actually cool because that trailer that sort of highlighted Midna and some more of Zelda was available to all attendees on a DS cartridge. So you could watch the trailer, and that cartridge has now gone on to be a bit of a collector's item. Sort of reminding people that the Game Boy Advance was alive, they released the Micro. Again, sort of like a little. I mean, I think a lot of people know what the Micro is, but like
Yes.
it's not really something that probably many people have because it was just a weird piece of hardware. I love it. I don't have one.
Yeah.
I've always wanted one. It's
I bought
just
one once. I bought one once and I gave it away to my buddy, and I regret it.
it's so good. And then the Famicom one.
Yeah.
And it's cool because you could replace the shells on it too. So like they had all sorts of weird like designs and stuff. It is definitely something I would love to pick up one day. But yeah, it's just a weird little thing. Now this is also the first E3 we got to see the Wii, which was codenamed Revolution at the time. And they didn't really show off anything else. But I think this was the year they was like, hey, it's 3 DVDs stacked on top of one another.
Yes,
like that was a big selling point. They also did announce that it would be GameCube backwards compatible, as well as the announcement of the Virtual Console, which I know was something that was like, heck yeah. As far as games go, you got Mario Superstar Baseball, Nintendo Pennant Chase Baseball, big year for baseball, StarCraft Ghost, which, canceled famously, new Super Mario Bros., it's coming back, and Mario Kart DS.
Okay, so 2006, Wii name announced prior to E3. Wii
Probably
Sports,
smart.
Probably smart, yeah. Wii Sports is announced. Big games that year: Super Mario Galaxy, Wii Sports, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, WarioWare Smooth Moves, The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass, Star Fox Command, Metroid Prime 3, and Twilight Princess. So this is the first time where Nintendo does something where they put the game out on the GameCube, and then they also put it out on the Wii, which is very similar to what happened this generation, where we got Breath of the Wild on the Wii U as well as the Switch. So
yeah, that another big year, I'd say. Obviously, leading up to the launch of the Wii later that year. Man, do you remember them just that them on the stage just playing playing Wii Tennis, just and I feel like that was like the aha, like, oh wow, like, okay, this is cool.
This is the year that I was going. I was like, I was trying to get Nintendo to reel me back in, and I would watch the E3s. So about 2003, 2004, I kind of left. 2005, I'm out. 2006, I'm begging them to win me back. And then when they showed Twilight Princess using the sword and all that, I was like, I'm out. I don't want nothing to do with that. So it isn't until about 2007, 2008 that 2007 it is that I come back, and it's a big bad way in 2007. But yeah, I'm still kind of, it just wasn't, they weren't gripping me. They weren't pulling me in,
Yeah, and I think also it was sort of that shift too of like, we're going to try and get everyone involved in gaming.
Yeah.
And like that's where you do see Wii Sports and 2007 Wii Fit and games like that. So 2007 is it's sort of a weird E3. It's a smaller E3. There's no convention center, no big booths. I think they actually it was dubbed like E3 like media presentation or something. It had some sort of different moniker to it. Galaxy and Brawl got release dates, and then it was like, hey, Wii is selling well. Let's peripherals, baby. Wii Zappers revealed, the Wii Wheel, obviously, which is used with Mario Kart Wii, which is one of the big games showing off, and then the Wii Balance Board, coinciding with the other big game of Wii Fit. So sort of again the plastic era for Nintendo begins, all the add-ons and doodadders and
but this is the year I come back, and I'm in big time now.
The Zapper gotcha?
Well, I came back because of Wii Sports. I had played Wii Sports at my brother's house in North Carolina. A friend of his had a Wii, and they brought it over, and I was like, I got to get one. But they were sold out.
Yeah.
So it was Christmas that year that I actually got my hands on one, and then I just fell in love. Like, I played Galaxy. My wife had bought me when I was married, but my wife had bought me we were dating at the time. We weren't even together, but she had bought me the Wii. She bought me Galaxy, Twilight Princess, and obviously came with Wii Sports. And I was like,
it's a good starter pack right there. You know,
it was amazing, dude. It was amazing. So I was all in. But 2008, this is where I was still in, but man, it gets bad. The Wii Music debacle, which was so bad.
The drummer, like, just
it was so bad. Animal Crossing City Folk, which was the highlight for me, along with Wii Speak, which I thought was going to be the future for Nintendo and voice chat. I think it was really cool. But the games that year were Wii Sports Resort, which was a great game. Grand Theft Auto China Wars, The Conduit, which was a good game. Mega Man 9, which was on the eShop, and Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Yeah,
it was a good year.
Oh, Brawl.
Oh, yeah, dude, that subspace was so good, man. That was. So
I need to
good.
go back and replay that one day because, like, I was just talking last episode, 2 episodes ago, about Mortal Kombat and how just like the story mode is so good with all like the over the top cutscenes and action, you know, like and like that's what was so good about Subspace Emissary. It's just like seeing all the characters interact with one another in like this weird. So good.
So good.
Moving to 2009 here, though, it's funny, the biggest moment from this E3 was actually not even part of like the presentation. It was just a piece of promotional art from Skyward Sword, which showed Fi and Link with no sword, and I just remember what is this? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? And there was no other word on it. Like, that was it. You know, like, okay. The big mystery. But as far as games shown off at this E3, you got Galaxy 2, you got Metroid Other M, you got New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Scribblenauts, Wii Fit Plus, Golden Sun, Dark Dawn, Sin and Punishment, Star Successor, Mario Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story, and then you've got, not the beginning, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Minis March Again. So pretty good lineup, you know, Galaxy 2, another great game. And a quick turnaround, you know, for a 3D Mario game, right? From the other one.
It's only a couple years. It's good.
Yeah, that's what, like, I'm sort of hoping they do with Odyssey, where it's like, hey, like, we've got this great engine, like, we're going to give you a more traditional Mario experience with, like, not a million moons and, like, give me 120 stars.
That'd be amazing.
But yeah, some good games here. Again, like, Skyward Sword, sort of like, I remember that too, just like the mystery around it, like, what is this, you know? Like, why isn't he holding a sword? Is she the sword? Like, what is going on?
I agree. 2010 was a big year. The 3DS gets shown off a few months prior to E3. Skyward Sword, first thing on presentation, but Miyamoto comes out and plays Skyward Sword, and it has very bad connectivity.
Do you remember that when he sort of like sticks the controller in the air, right, to sort of like mimic, and it was just like, nope. Again, another exhibit B on why live presentations are a mess.
Yeah, that was bad. Miyamoto, I felt so bad for him because he's trying to like. I remember he was trying to bowl the bombs, and he's taking time after time after time after time, and it just wasn't working. It was pretty crazy. 3DS, Kid Icarus has showed off. It showed off the 3DS graphical power. The games that year were Kirby's Epic Yarn, Metroid Other M, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Golden Sun, Dark Moon or Dark Dawn, Super Scribblenauts, Star Fox 64 3D, Kid Icarus Uprising, and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. What was cool about this year was when they actually showed off the 3DS. If you remember, when the presentation was done, they told everybody to stick around and they could actually try out the 3DSs. So people were supposed to go to the convention to go do other things because Nintendo always kicks off the convention, and people didn't leave. They stayed there in order to try out the 3DS for a long time afterwards. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's funny. This is actually where my weaning moment of like Nintendo and video games comes. At this point, I'm in college, my junior year. I'm gaming still, but it's more World of Warcrafting. And it was just, I honestly, I don't remember this one too much. Like, of course, like the Miyamoto thing, sort of, is a meme almost at this point. But yeah, so this was a year, I wasn't too into as much, but like as you can see, some overlap with like Golden Sun and Scribblenauts and all that stuff. But you got 2011 here. It's actually the show kicked off with the Zelda Symphony, which went on to do a lot of tours. I went and saw one, and they were really cool.
That's awesome.
This year, Wii U is announced. First time we're seeing HD graphics from Nintendo. Showed off like a little Zelda HD experience. And then we got the montage of third party. Obviously, they wanted to show, hey, we're coming out swinging. You got Darksiders 2, Assassin's Creed, and Batman Arkham City.
Yeah.
And then we've got games Luigi's Mansion 2, which, went on to be New Moon. You got Mario Kart 7, Resident Evil Revelations, so they're really swinging on the 3DS front here. Kirby's Return to Dreamland, Metro Last Light, Aliens, Colonial Marines, and Ninja Gaiden 3. Yeah. So they didn't really show off too many games really for the Wii U, aside from some of those third-party montage. But 2012, they got the games.
Yeah, they got the games finally in 2012, and 23 Wii U games get announced, showed the final form, talked about online and the Miiverse. Wii U Pro Controller shown, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, YouTube are there, Nintendo Land, Pikmin 3, New Super Mario Bros. U, Wii Fit U, New Super Mario Bros. 2, and Paper Mario sticker stars. But what really, I think, and it's a moment in this presentation where, because when they announced the Wii U in year one, they really didn't like go heavily into it, or maybe it was the year that it was, but I believe it was maybe 2011 where Reggie and them are arguing with people because people are playing dumb to what the Wii U is, and I feel like that was the start of a little bit of bad blood between Nintendo and the media, which then just translated to, it became a Nintendo versus the world type thing, where the media wasn't with them anymore, it seemed. Third parties were starting to leave them at this point, and I think it was just a weird moment for Nintendo where, as you could tell in the year before, like there was more 3DS games than Wii U games. Things were just off. But this was definitely the beginning of the downswing for Nintendo.
Yeah, I think with so much success comes a bit of arrogance, right? And you could even, sort of argue with Sony with PS4, like when they were like, oh, we don't need, cross-play, like we're the kings, you know what I mean? Like, we don't need, or 360 when they revealed Xbox One, where it was sort of, oh yeah, like we're gonna have these I always forget the acronym for it, but essentially, where you wouldn't be able to sell your used games, right? Like you'd buy it and just lock onto your system. Kind of like when you have that level of success, you just think, oh, like this is how it is, and it's going to continue that way. So I think after the Wii, everyone loved the Wii. It's selling like gangbusters, even though they should have read the tea leaves of the sort of drop off towards the end of the Wii. But I guess they're like, hey, we released something, a successor. It's got the Wii name in it still, and we're going to be fine, And then, they didn't account for how confusing it could be. Wii U, is it a peripheral? Oh, am I just buying? And especially all the advertising was just showing off the tablet, right? Because that was the main draw. And then, so that only sort of muddied the waters further. Like, oh, well, I'm not going to spend $300 on a tablet for my Wii. I'll just play it regularly,
I agree.
Yeah. 2013, though, we're shifting to Nintendo Direct. No more live presentations. We're out of there. This is the year, though. We're seeing Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U, but we're also seeing it for the 3DS. I think this was, again, Nintendo was like, whew, Wii U struggling. We better bring this marquee title to a system that is not struggling.
Yeah.
And then you got Mario Kart 8, which a fantastic game. Really, the games here are incredible. Super Mario 3D World, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, an amazing game, although I know that took some flack because it wasn't Metroid Prime. You've got A Link Between Worlds. You've got Wind Waker HD. You've got Bayonetta 2 and Pikmin 3. Yeah. Boom. That's, again, some quality titles right there. Again, too, also with Bayonetta, sort of a surprise, like, oh, wow, okay. All right, Bayonetta, sort of a very sexualized action game that no one expected to be a Nintendo property, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. It threw people off big time.
But again, sort of maybe the sort of beginning groundwork of like, hey, we can cater to these smaller, you know, core fan bases and get them involved with, you know, it might not sell 1 million copies, but like it'll draw people into our ecosystem, you know?
Yeah. And again, this is where Nintendo, because they do the first direct at an event, this is where the media turns on Nintendo. Because at that time, the people in the media were like, no, you got to have a conference. Like, Nintendo's giving up. They lose. And this was actually the first time people were like, oh, my God, this is amazing. Like, this is just awesome stuff. So
yeah, I remember I was angry about it, too. Or maybe not angry, but I was just like, how are you not going to do a live event? Like, you need to do, you know what I mean? We need the pop-off. But after, and that first year was rough. With the streaming, too, because they weren't, you know, I don't know if they just weren't anticipating so many views. You know, all at once kind of thing.
It kept getting stalling, and it was bad.
Messy. It was definitely messy.
In 2014, they announced the digital event, and that was what it became for a few years. They also go into Super Smash Brothers for the 3DS and the Wii U, The Legend of Zelda for the Wii U, Splatoon, Captain Toad, Treasure Hunter, Amiibo, Yoshi's Woolly World, Bayonetta 2, and Xenoblade Chronicles X is all announced in this year. And this is, to me, the pinnacle of the Wii U. This is the year that Nintendo crushes it, because that Zelda game, nobody saw that game coming. And it floored everybody. Splatoon 2 came out of nowhere. Nobody saw that game coming. It was a brand new IP. Crushed it. Yoshi's Woolly World was just unbelievable. That game looked fantastic. Like I said, this is the year that I feel like Nintendo explodes. And most of the games that launch from this point on all are super high scored. Like, they're reviewing super well. Everything. Actually, in 2013, in that year, everything's reviewing really well. 2014, still it continues a trend for quite a bit of time. But the announcement of Amiibo was something that nobody saw coming as well. And that kicked off the Amiibo craze, which was absolute
bonkers.
Mayhem, man. Oh, it was nuts.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, imagine Wii U launched in 2014, you know, like with these games, like you said, totally different story. I think it also, too, a lot of the developers, at least in-house at Nintendo, obviously hadn't been working on HD games, right? Yeah. So, you know, obviously there's going to be a learning curve, and like you said, it seemed like they finally hit their stride, but it was all for naught, and it was already a dead system, you know? I mean, isn't it... Wii U sold, what, 13 million?
Something like that, yeah.
And Switch just blowing it out of the water.
In year one, Switch beat it.
Yeah,
it's
ridiculous.
Just crazy.
My goodness. So 2015, we've got the return of Nintendo World Championships, and I think that was a huge success. People loved that. They were super stoked for it. And again, that sort of revitalized now Nintendo's competitive spirit, sort of getting into competitive gaming. Obviously, we're seeing that a lot with Smash. This year, 2015, you got Star Fox Zero. Now, Star Fox Zero. The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. An amazing game, but again, only in the right situation. Metroid Prime is back! But unfortunately, it is Federation Force, which is not a bad game in its own right, but man, they could not have made like, oh god. Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer again, and Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. Not the games people wanted. Not you know what I mean? Like, I've played them both, and they are what they are. Now, the big surprise, Super Mario Maker, and I remember this actually, someone leaked a photo, I believe, the day before.
This.
Remember that? And they're like...
The workers. Yeah, the workers.
Like,
someone took a picture of it.
Yeah. And of course, we were just talking about that earlier with Maker 2 coming out. Boom. Yeah. Big. More Amiibo announcements. Get your Amiibos. Then you got Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, which is a good game, but... whatever game at the end of it. And then Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, a disappointment.
This is the year that Nintendo really takes a downturn.
They shifted gears, man. They completely shifted gears. Because
it was so bad.
They must have been like, 2014 was like, if this doesn't work, it's it. You know what I mean?
In 2014, it kind of gave people hope because it did do an uptick. Things started to go on the uptick a little bit for Nintendo, but 2015 it was like done because the main game. This is the thing: the main game that everybody was expecting that should have been out by now was Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen. People were like, "What is going on? Is it canceled? Why is it not here? They showed it last year. Why are they not showing off just a little bit this year?" And then that was basically where they were.
And then they freaking mailed it in with Ultra Smash and Amiibo Festival, Like I said, I think... Bad. And, like, the thing about Ultra Smash is, it's like, it could have been a good game. It's a Mario Tennis game. Like, just give us more than, like, one freaking stadium, you know what I mean?
It was horrible, man.
What a mess.
It was horrible. 2016, they come out. The entire time is Breath of the Wild. And then a full day of Nintendo Treehouse. And what's crazy is with Breath of the Wild, the way they did it was, if you remember, they start off, and this was so messed up, they start off the E3 with the Breath of the Wild trailer. They show the trailer, everybody's losing their mind, and then they go into 1 hour of Pokemon. And then they go back to Breath of the Wild, and people are like, why am I watching Pokemon for an hour? Like, you get this off the TV, off whatever. I need to know more about Breath of the Wild. And then they wind up spending the next, 3 days just showing off Breath of the Wild. The entire booth was Breath of the Wild. Like, it was. And the crazy thing is all the Game of the Show awards that it won.
Yeah.
Like, it just killed.
I remember when they announced that they were literally going to show the new Zelda game, and that is it. And you're like, how can they do that? And like, I remember, because like, prior to Breath of the Wild, where you're racking your brain, like trying to think of previous Zelda games. How could they show off those games for 3 days straight? And you're just like, and like you said, what's amazing is we knew exactly what we were going to get, and it still knocked our socks off. And like you said, everyone game of the show, this, that, and the other thing, and obviously it released to being an amazing game.
And I remember because they were talking about the only thing they were showing during E3 was the Great Plateau. And people were talking about like how big the Great Plateau was. And I remember seeing Bill Trinen talking about it, and it was like, this is such a small amount of the game.
Yeah.
You have no idea how small this is. And dude, it was... When I remember one point of playing Breath of the Wild, when I got further along in the game, I went to find the Great Plateau, and I struggled to find out where it was.
Yeah, it's like a blip on the radar.
Yeah, it's like this little tiny area, and it's like, oh my god, this game is massive, man.
Yeah, like I said, I remember Perry and I played, like, and normally, like, a Zelda game, I feel like I would not want to play while talking to anyone, but, like, Breath of the Wild is such a different experience, and he was just like, I was like, where do you go off the plateau? He's like, to the right. I was like, all right, well, I'll go to the left, And then it was just, so, what a game.
So good.
Then you move on to 2017, and it starts off, now this is like the year of Mario, right? So like last year, you've had the year of the Breath of the Wild. Now it's Mario, but there are other games, obviously. This is the first E3 after the Switch launch. They highlight some upcoming competitive games like ARMS, Splatoon 2, Pokken Tournament DX, which of course is a port. And then Rocket League, everyone's excited about that. New games showed off: Yoshi, Kirby, Metroid Prime 4, even though it was just a logo, but it was enough to get everyone going. And then a core Pokemon RPG, which is funny because it was literally just like someone in the office like, hey, like, Pokemon's coming. But we also got some new trailers and details on Xenoblade 2, the best game on the Switch, Fire Emblem Warriors, and the Zelda DLC. And then it ends with the Mario Odyssey trailer, which is so funny because when it first starts, you see the dinosaur and stuff. You're like, what is this, Monster Hunter? Or like,
I thought too.
Yeah, like, what is it? And then all of a sudden you're like, that trail, like, that might be one of the best trailers that I can remember in ever, like, it was so bizarre. And I mean, the whole game is bizarre, right? Like, with taking over in all the different areas, just really wonderful. And then after all is said and done, Metroid Samus Returns is announced during the Treehouse Live.
I know, so weird, because my thing was they just showed the logo of Prime. They should have been like, oh, and by the way, you're going to be playing some Metroid this year, and then boom.
Yeah,
but people were so bad. And they showed the Amiibo, which were fantastic. And the 3DS, the special edition 3DS, which was fantastic. And it was like, why is this buried in the treehouse? Like, this is nuts.
And especially, I think it was like right after. I mean, I guess right afterwards is good in the sense that, like, it's probably when the most people are watching the Treehouse. But, like, I feel like once that's over, like, everyone's like, all right, time to see everyone's reactions, you know what I mean, on Twitter and everywhere, and it's just seemed, strange. Very strange.
So 2018 is special for me because it's the first time ever that I went to E3.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Courtesy to Mr. Jules Watcham. I actually roomed with him the entire time. It was fantastic. But in 2018, what was cool about this was Jules and I were sitting in the room, his laptop open, and we were watching it together. And so Smash Ultimate gets announced. And at that time, if you remember, like, they announced Smash just before that, but they didn't tell you who was in Smash.
Yeah,
and
the big debate.
They start showing, and it's like, oh, this one's back, and oh, this one's back, and all of a sudden they hit with like, everybody's here, and it was like, you have got to be kidding me right now. So that exploded everything. Super Mario Party was announced this time. Torna DLC, which is the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC. Fire Emblem Three Houses gets announced. Fortnite, which was probably the worst kept secret of all coming out, but my God, people, like, it just exploded when it got announced on the Switch. Hollow Knight gets announced, as well as Octopath expansion and or Splatoon expansion, which is Octopath or Octo expansion. It's again, for me, it wasn't a great E3 for Nintendo. But for me, it was just a special E3, one that I will never forget for the rest of my life. And it's kind of cool that some amazing things were announced during this E3. They also showed off, which I don't see you have it listed, but Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee.
Oh, that's right.
We're showing off, and they had them in the booth and all that stuff. So there was other game that kind of disappeared. I can't remember the name of it now. It was the one, it looked kind of Splatoonish. It was with young kids, and you had weapons, and you ran around, and you kind of beat each other up with these weapons and stuff. And you collected, like, gumdrops or candy, like, whatever. But it was, I remember going to the booth, and Jules and I were like, this feels like it's such a Nintendo booth and game. And it had, like, it was on the Switch, but it had no connection to Nintendo at all. Like, it was a third party that was just putting it out. So,
catering to the correct audience,
Yeah, exactly. They knew what they were doing there. So,
well, there you have it. That's E3 95 through 2018. Nintendo has certainly had their ups and their downs. I mean, I feel like generally speaking, they're singing to the choir, right? So it's like we know, even on a crappy year, like there's going to be announcements we're excited about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, with this upcoming year, I mean, I don't know too much to expect, right? It's like I feel like we know a lot of what games are coming out this year. Like I'm sure we'll get another dosing of Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you're going to get Prime this year, you know? Because obviously,
No,
like,
Prime's done.
yeah, it sort of went through that sort of, like, shake up, yeah, with the development and stuff. So,
yeah.
Of course, we're going to get Animal Crossing. Like, that. I'm assuming that'll, like, again, how I sort of said, it's like their booths. 2016 was Breath of the Wild booth. You know, 2017 Odyssey. Last year, Smash. Like, I'm pretty sure you're going to be walking through an Animal Crossing themed booth with trees and things around, right? Like that's got to be what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I'm hoping for like a Mario Golf. Like that, I really want that. To come out.
I would love that.
Like,
I would love that. I think I was talking to Toby about it on Nintendo PlayStation podcast, and he was saying that he didn't believe that it sold well. I don't even think it cracked 1 million units, if I'm not mistaken.
Golf?
So yeah, that's what. I could be wrong, but I thought he said it was like 600,000 or something. It wasn't a big number, but I think that we will probably see like a Striker sequel first before we get Golf. But I would love to see Golf. I love the Golf on the 3DS.
Yeah,
Strikers. I would just be like, give me an HD version of the 3DS Golf, and I'd be fine with that. Like
so. I mean, I'm in the camp that Golf blows tennis out of the water.
For Mario games, absolutely.
Yeah, like not even close.
I think Mario Golf is the best sports game that they do, in my opinion.
It's I've even thought like back to like the PGA Tour, like I used to play the Tiger Woods PGA Tour games. It's just because it's an RPG, you know. Like I'm upgrading my gear, I'm upgrading my stats, you know. Just so good. But yeah, it should be interesting just because I feel like we have we got Astral Chains coming out this year, Three Houses, you know, like Marvel Alliance, you know, like there's the beginning of this year, right, has been a slow for Nintendo as far as Nintendo releases. And like I feel like starting with Mario Maker next month, it's sort of a ramp up of like we got games. Oh
my god, dude!
So
it's insane.
I'm just wondering if this is going to be an E3 where we don't necessarily see a whole ton of surprises, or is Nintendo just ready to double down? And it's like, yo, we got games coming, and we got even more coming. You know, like get ready for it. And
it's gonna be nuts.
It's like, are we going to see the new Pokemon game, like the true Pokemon RPG at E3?
I think that gets announced without a doubt.
Oh man, like that's gonna be ballin' too.
I mean, they showed it off already. We know it's announced. We know it's coming, but
yeah, like to really lay it out there.
Give
for
a little
us,
bit trailer, and give you some, and it'll show up during Treehouse, and they'll get some in-depth stuff. Like that's what I'm hyped for. Show me what you're giving me, and then man, just let me sit down and watch Treehouse.
Let me see it in action. You know.
Oh God, yes. Can't wait.
So quick. Do you have a favorite E3? I mean, I know you said 2018 obviously is real.
Well, 2018 is probably it for me. Like that's just because that was such a moment. I was there, and it's something that nothing else will ever top. But if I'm being fair, besides that, probably my favorite is 2014, because I feel like 2014 is the year that Nintendo just come out and just blew us away. It was the best presentation, like announcement after announcement after announcement. It was just a home run, and I feel like Nintendo really crushed it in that year. It starts to fall apart after that, because that was a year that like you keep wanting Nintendo to come out and kill it, and you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's like, especially when the Wii U is floundering, and then they hit you with so hard with such great stuff. And then boom, it doesn't take off. It doesn't stick the way you would want it to. So it's a little disconcerting, but whatever. But that was probably because Breath of the Wild was just such a moment, man. So amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so that was probably my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's a whole bunch, but I'd probably, just as far as fond memories go, 04. You know, the year of the DS, like I said, that was one. really the turn for me. I mean, obviously we got Big Reg, which is great, but
Yeah.
for me it was that DS. Like I was hook, line, and sinker. That console was really, like I said, I feel like I've always been a Nintendo fan, but that was when it sort of turned from a fan to a lunatic,
Yeah. Let me ask you a question before we wrap up, because I know we're getting ready to wrap up here. But like, do you have plans for E3? Like, what's your routine for E3?
Well, normally I always take off, right? Like I just take off work. I watch when 2017 when they announced. I'm seeing if I get my years wrong here. There's too many words here. 2017, I actually went over to Neil Ronahan's house and watched with a bunch of people, which was definitely a different experience for me. Because I'm usually in the mindset, like, I don't want anyone around, Like, I just want to concentrate. I want to watch. So normally I take the day off, and then as of the last couple of years, we've done, like, hot off the stove reactions to it, podcasts and stuff. This year, I just started a new job not too long ago, so unfortunately I won't be able to get off. But
that's the worst, yeah.
Yeah, which sucks. But I'm going to probably go just radio silent, just turn off my phone, get the work done. Luckily, Tuesdays seem to be my lighter day, so just get it done, come home, watch that, and then I know we're going to have Jordan on the show, Jordan Rudek, staff member on the site. He's going to come on, and I think we're going to do a live reactions to it.
Nice.
But I mean, I know it's coming up quick, but we still need to nail down all the plans. But it's looking like we're probably going to do like a live show, like a live podcast with reactions to it. That's awesome. How about you? Did you do anything good?
I tried to always take off if I could. Some years I could, some years I couldn't. Last year I took the whole week off, obviously. This year I'm only able to take off just Tuesday, which, I mean, if you're going to take a day off, that's the day to take off.
Of course, yeah.
So I took Tuesday off, and my game plan is, well, I got to go into work in the morning. I get out of work at 8:30. I'm going to come home, get ready, and then I'm going to start streaming at 11. So from 11 to 12, then the presentation kicks off, and then I'm going to be live streaming live during it. And then once that's done, I'm not going to shut off. I'm going to stay with Treehouse Live and probably just stay here the whole day. I'm going to play games and just hang out and have the computer on, and just people can kind of see my reactions, and we'll have conversations because I'm sure people will be jumping in and out of the chat. But I'm probably going to stream all day.
Hell yeah, man.
Because I think I'm alone. You know what I mean? Like, I live in a house by myself. I got nobody here. So why not just enjoy the day? You know what I mean? Like, just chill out.
It's like Christmas, man. Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, that's
amazing.
A perfect way to segment into closing out the show. Why don't you tell everyone where they're going to be able to find you, where they're going to be able to see that E3 full day of events? Because that sounds awesome with a pre-show, a post-show, an all-day stream.
Man.
Pimp your wares, as I said.
So, easiest, quickest way to get announcements and stuff is on Twitter, at Nintendo Gurus. But my YouTube channel is youtube.com/Nintendo Guru. You can check me out over there. And I put videos up every single day, including the weekends. There's stuff going up. I got content going 7 days a week. So, but if you want to be a part of it, you want to hang out with a great community and watch the stuff live with me, then that's the place to be. youtube.com/Nintendo Guru.
Yes, awesome, dude. Real quick before we say our goodbyes, just a reminder that we are giving away a copy of Mutant Mud's collection. Pop over to Twitter at Talk Nintendo Pod. That's Talk Nintendo POD. We will have it pinned to the top. All you got to do is follow us and retweet. And the good thing is, if you stay followed us, you'll be ready to rock and roll with just retweeting, because we're going to be giving games away every single week here on Talk Nintendo Podcast, so it is definitely something to keep looking out for. Thank you, Bobby, so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for the invite.
It was a blast. I went on Talk Nintendo? No, Nintendo Talk Live. I gotta like
Talk Live.
Dyslexic.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was the first time we really got to chat in person, and it was a blast, and so it was awesome to have you on the show, and we're gonna have to do it again sometime in the future.
Anytime, man. Anytime. I love you guys, both you and Perry. Even though
he's
Perry
not
couldn't stay
here, you
long.
don't need to lie.
Yeah. No, listen, I do. The guy is amazing, and I was just honored to be asked to come on today. So this was so much fun. So anytime, man, doesn't matter. You tell me, I'm here. I love this. I love you guys. I love this show. It's good stuff.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you to the Nintendo guru, that dang old Bobby, for joining us. And yep, we will see you next time. Hey, Perry.
Yeah.
It's all right for you to come out now. Bob is gone.
Okay. Whew. Good.
Finally.
Dang it, Bobby.
Yeah. I know you were waiting in the wings there, just ready for that son of a gun. But
I was listening the whole time.
there's too many E3s to talk about.
That
too
thing
little
that you
time.
said about that game was really good.
On which year?
On 2006.
2006 was a goodie.
It was a goodie. Anyway.
But yes, so as we had, I told Perry off recording that I didn't mention we'd be coming back for a Mario Maker little chit chat,
Yeah.
but then I actually think I did. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, I think I might have laid it out something along the lines of, we may or may not.
Oh, okay. Well, we are. Well,
But here we are.
people think we're going to be talking about Super Mario Maker 2 because of the new Nintendo Direct that came out. But we're actually just going to recap what we like about the first game.
Yeah, a Mario Maker 1 retrospective.
Yeah. So, I really like how you can use your amiibo.
I really appreciate that they did not
Actually-
allow slopes.
Real talk. Can they... I don't think there is amiibo. They didn't talk about it in this one, did they? That's kind of interesting, right?
You'd think they would at least have thrown in like the mystery mushroom for. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
maybe with all the new different versions, it would just get confusing. But like, you can
Yeah.
use those in all of the versions in the original one anyway. So,
That's right.
well,
There's
Perry-
a lot to talk about,
yeah,
though.
yeah, we got a bunch to talk about. Why don't we talk about what's new? So, we knew slopes were coming. As
There's- yeah.
I know that was a
There's-
highly anticipated or a highly
Well,
demanded feature.
I mean, totally. That was like the one, right? Like the one really important thing that was missing for the first one, and they showed that off when they announced the game.
Yeah, that was like the
which
first.
is great.
Yeah, like
Because
hey,
it
we
really is
listened.
important, and it's weird, right? Because it's kind of like, why didn't you just do that in the first one? It's kind of like you were
Maybe-
obviously holding back for the
That
for
or maybe
another
they
one or
tried to implement it and it was like just going to be a big old headache. You know what I mean? Like where
Maybe
like they had the code in place and then they were like, well, let's add this, and then it was
Maybe
just
they,
one
maybe
of those.
they need more time.
And then they're like, you know what?
Just keep
People
it out.
won't really care that much.
But man, is that going to make a difference? I mean, it's going to be crazy because my goodness, are there tons and tons and tons of new stuff in the new course parts and the tools and features.
Oh, yeah.
And the creation mode. It's crazy,
And we also have Angry Sun.
Oh yeah, I love the Angry Sun,
Oh,
and I
me
didn't know
too.
that was the official name.
That dirty dog
know?
back in the day. You hated him.
Oh, he's such a jerk because he's staring at you, and he's just he looked like he woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And then suddenly he just attacks you, right? Like that was the part about
Yeah,
it.
he swings down and just gives you a sucker punch.
I know. But you can kill him, right? If you have the star. I believe you can.
I don't
sure you
know.
can.
It's been a hot minute.
You can. Now, here's the thing. Now, did they show that? Is that just for the Super Mario Bros. 3 segments, or is that in all of them? Because I can't remember.
I'm not
if they
sure.
showed off. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Anyway. But that's cool for sure.
definitely. No, it's also cool. Them on and off switches, baby.
Oh yeah, I loved how they showed off
How it could be
I just love
implemented.
that stuff because I mean that's the idea of a chain chomp being stuck in a box, right? And then you turn it off and then to get to a place, but then it lets loose the chain chop. So it's it's kind of like a Zelda type thing, right? Kind of adds in those the puzzle. Like for puzzles, that's gonna be amazing.
Definitely,
on off switches. Very cool.
Then we move along. We've got water levels, which okay, like we knew water levels are in there, but they can be adjusted, right? Like the different levels, like actually rising tides.
Yeah.
And that could be used for lava as well.
I mean, and you can even customize when those come in.
Yeah,
like it can even rise during
section.
the level and stuff. Yeah. That's crazy, right? That's so cool.
The
That's
customability is off the charts.
Off the charts.
Top tier.
Yep.
Moving along, we got Bonsai Bill. The red variations of these classic Super Mario enemies have a homing function.
Oh.
Didn't they have homing enemies in the first one? Was it just not the big Bonsai Bills?
Or did I can't remember. I don't think so.
Yeah, I guess they probably wouldn't have highlighted it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think so. But they also have the snake blocks. And you can do like the fast, which the snake blocks, I think, those are actually used a ton in New Super Mario Bros. U, from like what I play, it's a lot of them. You're running around and you got to make sure to jump at the right spot, and then it's kind of like roller coaster ride, like zooms down into the lava. I love stuff like that, especially like for fast stuff. So you're running, and I can't wait to make like levels where, you have to jump and then it'll dive down into the lava, and then you have to jump it.
Yeah,
and then get back on it when it comes back up, and then, the really cool, like the vine things that you can hold on to.
Oh, the
swinging vine things.
Yeah, like the crane game.
Yes, those looked so neat.
That's brand new, right? That's never been in a...
No, and I mean, of course, those elements have been in a Mario game, like like swinging vines and stuff.
But yeah,
not in Mario Maker.
Crane.
So that's gonna be like for jungles and stuff. That's gonna be so much fun. And then,
there's all sorts of. You got custom scrolls, so you can adjust the speed and like the direction for airships. You've got vertical sub areas now, as well as you can make a secret room by putting like a straight up vertical
such a cool idea.
Wall. You can make just like a one little off room, so it doesn't keep scrolling.
That is so smart. Yeah, it stops the screen from scrolling. So that is such a smart. I just love that they really went into the deep for this, because it's like now, because like a lot of times I would run into that problem all the time when you're making a level, and it's like, well, I don't want to make it so you can see like the rest of the level. So like if you go against the wall, you'll see like the rest of it. Like it just kind of ruins the whole aesthetic of the level. So I love that concept where and it has like that built-in where you can just make your own levels and it won't scroll, and dude, so cool.
Definitely. And then you've got a couple cool things here. New sound effects, which are, that's fine. But you've got dry bone shell, which can go into the lava, and it can also give you a temporary invincibility when you just drop down to a pile of bones like you got stomped on. How funny is that?
That's freaking sweet, dude. That's awesome.
Good old Nintendo, man.
I know. I love that. I love that stuff. But then... and then the well, I guess we can talk about before we get into like the course themes and stuff, because there's a lot to go in that.
You've
got story mode.
Well, but even before that, you've got co-op making. I guess this was shown off before or not. I don't even know. But you could pass a Joy-Con controller to a friend, and you guys can create the course together, side by side.
That is cool.
But yeah, story mode, way cooler than co-op making mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is, for me, I know, this was like what I was hoping they would have some sort of story. Well, I didn't quite think it'd be story mode. I just hoping they had a collection, a collection of Nintendo crafted levels. And it seems like this mode seems like that and then some, because you're going to be building Princess Peach's castle back, but you need to earn coins, and you do that by playing over 100 of these Nintendo crafted levels, and you can unlock things, and it looks really cool.
Dude, Yeah, that's awesome. Now, I mean, like, granted, when you look at it, it obviously looks like really tacked on, like a total side mode that like they had 3 people working on, because it's not like epic and like you're not like following, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no story to it. It's just like you're out in an open
You're
space
building
and
her
you're
castle
just
back, Perry.
it like reminds me of like the side mini games in like Super Mario Run on iOS.
I just think it's going to be more like a glorified tutorial, because it's going to be
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
like, oh,
But,
hey,
I mean,
here.
yeah.
But like, I think towards the end, like there'll probably be some cool, challenging levels. But yeah, a majority of it's probably going to just be like, hey, look, this is a new feature you can use. Here are some ideas of how like it can be done.
But what will be awesome is that if they can do the collecting 3 big coins and levels, if there are some sort of way to feel like you've accomplished the levels like in more depth instead of just like beating them, you know what I mean? I mean, just beating them and getting the flagpole, that's going to be nice and everything. But you know what I mean? That satisfaction of like looking at all these complete levels and you've gotten all these different things and stuff. So, but yeah, that's really fun. I mean, I guess they had something like that in the first one, right? I can't remember. I mean, it wasn't a story mode, but it was like a tutorial. And remember, you had to unlock everything.
Oh God, that was a disaster.
I remember when we were playing, like, I remember when Neil got the code for Mario Maker. When we were playing like online, like with him, and then he started playing it. Like, just listening to him, he's like, "Oh, you have to unlock everything."
Yeah, sure do.
Yep, but I don't think you have to do that this time.
Yeah, I can't imagine they'd do that again.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's cool.
Now, next up here, I think this is probably the most exciting bit of news, is we've got new course themes. So that means we've got desert, snow, forest, and sky themes.
So awesome.
In
each one.
Yeah, which is just amazing, right? But what's even cooler is that the moon is now an element, right? So when you touch...
Not only do you have those different themes, you have a day and night themes of those.
Yep, and when you go into the night themes, though, it changes things up. So, like, the snow gets super icy. The sky becomes, like, the gravity becomes, like, really low. I know underground, everything becomes upside down. And just, so each one's going to have, like, a weird element when you are touching the moon. And that even goes for power-ups, too. Certain power-ups will act differently when it's nighttime. So it's going to be really cool because, I mean, obviously it's going to be fun to see how that works. But, like, think of all the people out there making levels. Like, there's just so much variety in how you can use the same bit of tools and make something so drastically different.
Dude, so awesome. Now, after that, they did something even more exciting. Because, you know, they saw the game styles, right? They said like Super Mario Bros., Super Mario 3, Super Mario World, Super Mario U.
You
know. But then, they said there's actually Mario 3D World. And when I first saw this, I was like, wait, because they were like, this is way different. And I was like, hold the bucket. Are they going to let us create 3D?
Can you imagine?
Like actual, it's like, oh my goodness. Because it's not called Super Mario 2D Maker. It's called Super Mario Maker. So Super Mario 3D World, 3D games are in the Super Mario. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to, but no, it's just side-scrolling. But they add so much cool stuff in those. Like, it looked amazing. And it's so fun to see the different art style. Because it's like, you know what? The 3D World art style is way different than the new Super Mario Bros. Art style, you know? Like, honestly, like, if you look at them, they're, like, shinier and stuff, and they look cool, and they have that different color scheme, and, of course, they have Cat Mario.
And you can climb up the flagpole.
Yep, you can scratch,
or the goal pole,
slide,
is that what she called it? The goal pole?
Yep. Very cool, and you can, of course, clear pipes, which are awesome, especially... You know, isn't that funny? We haven't had clear pipes in a side-scrolling Mario.
Yeah, it's sort of weird.
I mean, it's great. But I guess clear pipes came after the last actual 2D Mario game.
Also, you've got the Koopa car.
Yeah, what the heck? The Koopa Troopa car.
Like, why not? You know,
It looks amazing. It's like
just bouncing off heads. And
it looks, dude. It looks so good. Yeah, that looks like so much. Like I can't wait to see the courses that are made with that.
I really like the skip squeaks who imitate Mario.
Oh my goodness, yes.
The skip squeaks.
Like, jumping up and down.
So
and
good.
Stuff.
Also, real quick, doubling back on just some different things. Like you said, you got the swinging claw, you got the seesaw levels. You know where and like that they showed off with the lava on-off switch, the snake block, which I believe something you talked about originally, right? But you've also got clear conditions are something new. So you
Oh yeah.
So you can be like, to clear this level, you need to kill 10 Goombas, or you know what I mean, or you got to clear.
But there are only 9.
Yeah. Then you'll never win, you loser.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, just I really like those because it's like not just or get to the end. You know, it really changes it up.
Now, when you really get into it with the new game style of Super Mario 3D World, that is known as an extra game style. And when you look at the page that it was on, it literally says game style, then you can choose from the 4, you know, Mario Bros. 3, World, and U. Then it says extra game styles.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks
with
like there
Super
could
Mario 3D World, and then in a very obvious one spot left to unlock. Now, I think I know what that's going to be.
I bet I know as well.
I think it's going to be Odyssey.
Yep, me too. Because there's already 2D elements in Odyssey, right? So it's like you could just literally take those and bring it on over. You could cappy it up.
Yep. Oh man, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, I would be down with that, man. Mm-hmm. Also, again, sorry, I've got notes scattered all over here, so I'm jumping around a little bit. All of those new themes, the desert, snow, forest, and sky, new music.
By Koji Kondo.
Yes, dude. Oh, it's going to be amazing. Yes, please.
It's so cool seeing new course themes with the Super Mario Bros. Like, you know, sprite tile. Like, it looks amazing.
So good, dude. Oh, I can't wait.
These are like extended versions of like the classic Mario games. You know, it's awesome.
This game's gonna
also
kick butt.
You know, they have the course world.
Yeah, so this is the online area, right?
Yeah, which I believe was in the first one.
Yeah, I know they replaced what? They replaced stars that you would get with maker points. So,
Sure.
So yeah, I guess by making good levels and people liking that, you get maker points. You could search online by popular, new, or you can search tags. You could comment and download. What's also cool is you have your maker profile, and as you play the game and stuff, you unlock different. It looks like different different clothing items. So it looks like essentially like a little me that you can customize to go along with your levels, right? So that's pretty cool. And then it also goes into network play with multiplayer online with up to 4 people. And you could play either co-op mode where you all just try to beat the level, and if one person succeeds, you all succeed. Or you could race and get, literally as it sounds, you race to the end, and whoever gets there first is the winner.
Yeah, this is awesome. I mean, this is the other, to me, there was like the 2 things. There's slopes, and then there's multiplayer, right? From missing from the first one. So they definitely have changed that. Now, there are some caveats. Well, there's some cool things here. One of them is that you can play online multiplayer, dude.
Oh, it's going to be insane, man.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I wasn't anticipating a multiplayer mode, really. At least in the sense of, like, what this is, you know?
Yeah, now, what's annoying, though, is that I don't think that we can play online together.
Good. I didn't want to play with you anyway.
I know.
Yeah, you were saying it's random only, right?
The way that
so
they worked, the way they worded it in the press release and on the actual direct. I mean, they say 4 players face off in a side-scrolling showdown in this online multiplayer mode. Each player will be assigned a different character, then race each other in a randomly selected course. The player who clears the course first wins, increases their versus rating. And then it says multiplayer co-op. That's for the versus. And co-op, it's just you work together, like you said. But then nearby play is the one where if up to 4 players each own a Switch console and a copy of the game, one of them can set up a virtual room. See, that's where it says one of them can set up a virtual room that the others in the same location can play together.
And one of them still needs, the host still needs to be able to,
be online.
Yeah, right? How funny is that?
So, that's crazy. Now, funnily enough, I think if you have lag and stuff, that will obviously be, I think that'll be the best way to play the game. That is, of course, if the feature works as it should, because I don't think then you're not using any online. You're probably just checking in online to download the level, and then to also, it's not going to be running through online, I don't think.
You would think, but Nintendo has certainly done weirder things, right?
Yeah, so it's weird, right? So I guess we are asking Nintendo about it, because it's kind of like what? Like, I want to be able to play a game, to create a level that me and Casey can play through co-op, but that's not going to be able to happen.
It's again, just a weird, so weird. I don't know why they, where the decision would, again, maybe it's something they were like, oh, it's going to be really hard to do, but at the same token, it's like, well, figure it out,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Nintendo, so they certainly do weird things. But yeah, and then they moved on to talking about pre-order bonuses and bundles and stuff, and I was like, oh, baby, give us the stylus, please. No. You've got Super Mario Maker 2 plus Nintendo Switch Online bundle launching in stores and digitally on the release date. This is $70, $69.99, a savings of $9.99 off the retailed price when they're separated. So it's a good deal. And they said if you already have membership, it would just stack on top of what you already have. So that's good. I mean, it makes sense. It's like, obviously this game is very focused online with sharing and downloading games, so it makes sense to sort of pair them together. Now, what's even more interesting is this next one, Nintendo Switch game vouchers.
Yeah, these are cool.
Yes.
It's a good idea.
Oh, it's super cool. So if you already have if you're a fan and you already have a paid Nintendo Switch Online membership, you can purchase 2 Nintendo Switch game vouchers from the eShop for $99.99, and that's going to give you a $20 savings off the retail price.
That's cool.
So it's like,
you
hey,
can pre-order too.
Now it is for eligible downloads, so it looks very much like Nintendo games. Players can pre-purchase Super Mario Maker 2 and also grab another fun game like Smash Bros, Odyssey, Crafted World, or Legend
1-2
of
Switch.
Zelda. Yeah, they showed 1-2 Switch up there. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm gonna just buy 2 versions of that.
Of 1-2 Switch.
Yeah. I'm going to buy 1-2 Switch. Let's see.
Nice.
You've got Maker, Breath of the Wild, 1-2 Switch, Mario Kart 8, ARMS, Xenoblade 2, Splatoon 2, Odyssey, Bayonetta.
I think it's just all their first-party games.
Yeah. Oh, Sushi Striker. Although Bayonetta and Sushi Striker are both $50, so you sort of lose the savings there. Kirby, Tropical Freeze, Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee, Super Mario Party, Aces. Yeah, the list is pretty good, but it's this. Yeah, look, Octopath Traveler, Dragon Quest Builders. Yeah, pretty much all that. Go Vacation. Yeah, so pretty cool if you were into buying digital games.
Yeah.
I mean, and it makes sense.
What I think is cool is especially for pre-orders,
Yeah,
it's
if you're going to get Mario
of...
Maker 2 anyway, and you're sort of in the market for another game, you might as well save $20.
Exactly.
But I thought that was pretty cool. Not something I'll take advantage of because I have most of those games already, and I like me the physicals. But
Of course.
they closed out the Direct with Super Mario Maker 2 Invitational 2019. So
We're going.
Yeah, yeah, we're 2 of the 4. Yeah, so actually we were talking about, obviously, well, you missed it. Well, I guess you heard, right? During the news block, we talked about Nintendo's E3 plans, and they have Splatoon as well as Smash Ultimate again on June 8th. But now we've got Super Mario Maker 2. So 4 members of the Super Mario Maker community will compete in a variety of wild and unpredictable Super Mario Maker 2 courses designed by Nintendo's Treehouse team. It's going to be starting at 11 p.m. Pacific, or 11 a.m. Pacific time. So that's 2 p.m. Eastern time, and will be followed by Splatoon 2 and then Smash. So that's going to be cool because they're going to make the levels look like insane and super fun, and like obviously it's like hey, buy our game,
Reminds me of the Nintendo World Championships from 2015.
The good old days, man.
Yeah, man. That was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, man, that was a blast.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they're continuing all this good stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Because
Totally.
it's gonna be sweet, and I was on board already, right? Like I was, I already have it I actually already have it paid off. Like totally in, but this definitely made me even more excited for it.
Yeah. Dude, I know. I'm very excited for this. And, it was a lot more than I was expecting, I guess they didn't, funny enough, they didn't really talk about, did they talk about local multiplayer? Like, they only talked about creating levels together, but they didn't really talk about playing levels together locally.
Well, yeah, they did via connecting the switches, right?
No, I'm talking about,
yeah,
just on your home screen, on just,
on the TV.
like Joy-Con.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't really talk about that. Yeah, I wonder if they're just thinking that's like, oh, we don't need to really talk about that because it is what it is. Or it might just mean like it's not a thing.
Right?
That would be.
It's
I don't know,
interesting.
man.
But whatever.
Let's hope it's not a thing.
I hope that we can, I hope that I can, whatever. As long as I can make a level, send it to you, and then you can play it, and we can record that and live stream that. That'll be fun.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely have some Mario Maker goodness.
You know what we'll do?
Up.
We'll do Nintendo Switch launch day fast racing technique. We'll try to start a game together at the same time and see if we can end up in the same room.
Wait, what?
For the online matches.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Because you can't play with friends.
All right, I gotcha. I was like, wait. I was thinking you meant like we're trying to speed run and verse each other in a level or something. But all right, I got you now.
You got it.
I'm tired.
Mm-hmm. You sound tired.
Yeah, I'm beat, dude.
I'm also tired. But yeah, so awesome, right? I mean, it is one packed game. I mean, it is just like there's so much. Like I feel like even with the original, like I didn't even really know. Like I didn't even get into everything in that game. Like I mean, I probably did, but I just like the original was pretty crazy what you could do with it. But I'm really, really excited to dive in this and to make a lot of levels and to have a lot of fun playing other people's. I hope that it's better than the online distribution's better.
Yeah,
like,
and then
like I say, I always talk to Jules about this. I always say, how come a 2E has a better online distribution with their game making software than Nintendo? Like that is ridiculous. Like it's so bad how you have to search for games and stuff for the first Super Mario Maker. So I hope it's better, but
yeah, I mean, you'd like to think it's improved.
Charm.
You're getting points.
I'd like
you
to,
get maker
but then again,
points
Smash
instead of in
Smash
stars.
Ultimate
So
is
that
worse.
could be all the difference.
True. Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to bring us to the end of this nice, meaty, long podcast.
That's right.
Thank you for emerging from the shadows, Perry, to wrap this show up with us, or with me, I should say.
I like to watch.
You're a lurker.
I'm a lurker.
He lurks in the darkness.
Yep, and thank you for ending the show
Twice?
faking it for Bobby.
Yeah. Get that Jimmy out of here.
Yeah. Just kidding. Thank you for coming, Bobby.
Yes, yeah, it was a great episode. Like I said, we've got the E3 train is leaving the station. You know, we're less than a month away now. We've gotten Mario Maker out of the way. You know, I'm sure they'll talk about it during Treehouse a little bit, and of course during the Invitational. But I'm pretty sure this has sort of cleared the path for no real Mario Maker discussion outside of maybe a montage mention during the actual Direct. So I think that's a good thing, you know?
Sure. Yeah, you're right. Or they're just going to double down on it and
they
spend
just
even more time
replay
talking
the
about
same exact, like, 15 minutes.
Actually, no, that will definitely be the Odyssey, right? The Odyssey reveal. Well, maybe not, because it's really close to the...
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if that's going to be something they would, like, prefer to just be a complete surprise. I mean, they knew when they showed that screenshot that it said Styles, right? So it's like, they very much are putting the hint out there, so, yeah.
I mean, it could be Odyssey, it could be Super Mario Land 2, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
I would much rather prefer that one.
Well, we'll find out, you know, in just over a month and a half, so.
Yep, pretty crazy.
But on that note, I think it is time to I bid you adieu.
I bid you a fine adieu.
And remember, everyone, them giveaways, Twitter, Talk Nintendo Pod, that's Talk Nintendo.
P-O-D.
Yes, boom, boom.
Yeah, go and retweet it and like it and follow. And you will get a free game, probably.
Maybe.
Hopefully. Probably maybe.
Somebody will.
All right.
That's for sure.
See you next week on episode 140.
Poops. You had one job, Bobby.
I'm not.
There's going to be so many Bobby jokes. All right.
I can imagine.
Yeah, that's just how it is.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a fan of your negative attitude right now. Like, you need to support Nintendo at all costs. Yeah, well, some people are just stupid, in my opinion.